want that on our record, the Yaoi
Right.
Shelf killed Peachie.
It would kind
Yeah.
of like ruin the whole episode if I just croaked.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be ideal.
I would like you to, if you can, try to survive until after we've done the live. Like, is
Right.
that possible
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah,
Then you are released of your contract.
Sweet.
And you can die whenever you want.
that is fantastic. Thank you for your
Yeah.
permission.
Of course. After that, you are released of your contract, and you can die whenever you feel appropriate.
Oh, that's
But,
yeah.
Welcome to the
Yeah.
Yaoi Show. Grab a seat and relax.
Hello!
Stop, I love it here.
Hi, I am back from Japan.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I had a wonderful time. I got hit on by so many men.
That's amazing.
Is it?
It's a little weird.
Mm.
We went to this me and my friends went to this huge resale shop that sold like comic books and manga and figures and all this stuff. And my guy friends, being horny, degenerate guy friends, went on the hentai aisle, like the whole hentai section. And I've never been stared at more. It's like, oh my God, this is not the place that I need to be as a brown girl with giant tits, is the hentai section.
That's fantastic.
That's
feel
nothing
you.
but brown girls with giant tits.
We went to, I think this was 2016. We were at Nakano Broadway, and I was hell bent on finding the infamous panty vending machine. I found it. It was in this hidden away like porn store in a corner, and like
That's
the
amazing.
furthest. And we were like a couple of lesbians in this very heterosexual thing. And I'm like, I'm getting a pair of panties from the vending machine. And it was an experience. I was
Do
very happy.
they come in sizes, or is it like
No, it's like
one
a
goes
gacha.
on?
So you put a coin in, and then you twist, and you get a random pair of panties. And I gave them as presents to my friends, and they were like, "What is wrong with you?"
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I would be
that's-
blessed.
This is how I show. I'll remember that next time I go. I'll get a pair for you.
I will cry.
Long-time listeners of the show may notice that there is something in between Carola and I, someone wonderful. Peachie, welcome to the show.
I am P.
As you can tell, this episode is going to be even more unhinged than it normally
Train
is.
wreck,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So excited. No, this is perfect.
This is perfect. Peachie, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go into our well-coveted sponsor segment?
Ooh, okay. Get my spiel voice on. Okay. I've been doing BL-centric panels at conventions for 7-ish years. I feel like the BL internet space mostly knows me from FujoCon. I did BL That Hurt Me for the first 3 years, and last FujoCon I did I Love That Character You Hate. Shameless self-promotion.
I
if
love that
y'all
panel.
like FujoCon, you might be interested in CitrusCon. It's a new virtual BL convention that I'm a part of, and I'm sure I will explain that in more depth at some point.
Please do.
I
Yes.
will. Outside of all of that, my main passion project is the Church of BL. Basically, boys love themed parody of Catholicism, which I can do as a traumatized former Catholic. COBL has a large focus on bringing the vastly shamed, unwanted boys love fans together and giving them a safe space to exist in. Be that my Discord or my 10,000 other things I do.
It was always pretty natural that Peachie would end up on the show. I feel like this year has been like obvious partners. People who was like, well, of course they'd work with us. You know?
Oh my God.
Like, I feel like this year has really been just like, we had them on the show before.
We have the same shtick.
I have a very similar shtick, so it's like, why haven't we had Peachie on the show? And it's like Carola and I were sitting in our living room like 50s parents. You know, I'm reading the paper with my slippers on and my pipe, and then Carola just looks up from her sewing, and it's like, why haven't we had Peachie on the show?
My sewing!
I don't know the sewing or the cat.
Doing some cross stitch.
Yeah.
Project.
Of course. Very
God.
proficient. I'm very proficient.
Well, I can't say from your gacked Dakimakura. I can't say lift up from your gacked body pillow.
Why
That
not?
doesn't fit the 50s aesthetic, Carola.
I'm sorry. What?
I will show it. I will show him to you later. He's watching.
Okay, I've seen one on the internet space, and if it's the one that I'm familiar with, I'm gonna vomit.
It's probably the
one.
The
shirtless one?
Oh my god.
You don't understand. This was okay, let's just get this out of the way because now you've opened Pandora's box. The thing is, this is the dumbest thing I own and I love it. But it was the CD cover for one of his singles, right? Yeah. So this is the most expensive single I've ever bought. It was so pricey, and I bought it on a whim because I buy everything he releases. And then I was like, the single was tucked inside of his. He has like a jacket that comes off, and the single was tucked inside his jacket. So you had to unzip it and remove the single. And the thing is, it's so big. I didn't realize it would be that big. So he was folded in half. So when I opened the box, he sort of stood up, and I was like, this was a mistake. Where am I supposed to keep him?
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so he sits in a corner of my living room looking at me. He's my god.
That's amazing.
Every time I hear about this, it's the best thing I've ever heard. But yeah, I didn't fit the 50s aesthetic, Carola, of us in a I Love Lucy style living room.
But he is perfectly acceptable
for our apparently very hetero 1950s black and white
listen, yes. What, you're saying he's not a heterosexual icon? I don't.
Oh fuck.
I feel so bad for everyone who's listener only and couldn't just hear me blink.
I'm sorry to everyone because I have said before I don't usually talk about him unless you actually.
Now I'm a troll and I bring him up.
Yeah, it's your fault because every time
I'm bullying my uke.
I mean, I did ask further questions. It is partially my fault.
Yeah, I try not to talk about him because it turns into a whole thing, but I just need to defend myself if he does.
Amanda's a troll.
Because there is nothing to defend.
There is nothing to defend.
No, but it's
Carola, we have a sponsor this episode.
Yes, we do. I'm very. And it's not. No. I wish.
If Gacked ever sponsored an episode, again, firstly, we'd quit immediately. Well, we'd record the episode and then we'd quit. We'd retire.
We'd just stop.
Because there's nothing else.
Yeah, it can top that.
If you're listener only and you cannot see my face, listen. Oh my god, I wish he would.
I wish he would too. I wish we could talk about all the homoeroticism that those guys had.
Unfortunately, I'm the one sponsoring him because that's where all my money goes. So
yeah, but we have an actual sponsor.
Yeah, we do.
Yiggy Bean Books.
Woo! Yes.
Woo!
You might have seen a couple. Yeah, may have seen a couple of tweets from us about them. We're here to say one of the best and most welcoming BL bookstores that we've really ever seen. I'm upset that they're not closer to me. I'm sure Carola can sympathize. I'm upset that within the continental United States, they're not closer to me.
And I'm over here crying in Arctic. But they do have a web store.
They do have a web store. Some pretty great pre-orders that they're snagging.
Yeah.
Real quality stuff.
Yeah, and they do find things for you. So if you can't find what you're looking for on their website, you can contact them and they will help you.
I'd much rather give my money to them than Kinokuniya. Just going to go ahead and say that.
Oh.
Kinokuniya, not a sponsor, but
Imagine if they were. You're just like,
well, no, I really believe in small business as a small business owner.
absolutely.
No,
Wearing my own merch, making my own.
I fucking love it.
As a small business owner, I much rather support a small business.
Shameless self-promotion.
And we really do love where Yigi Bean is coming from with their values, because they do share the same values that we do.
Again, this year has all been about obvious parallels, because Yigi Bean is right there where we are. It's like, I wish that we had this space as Fujin to come together and ask these questions and say, hey, I'm really like this, and where's this, without asking us, because you're just going to hear gravitation or twittering birds never fly.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
When you ask us, you get those two anime for anything. It's like, oh, I really like Hitsune Hijime My Hero. Have you tried twittering birds never fly?
And then someone has the fucking audacity to mention Junjo Romantica, and I'll be like, oh really? You know who else was an author? Who, by the way, was a more handsome.
Yeah, so Yigi Bean actually doing work and helping, rather than us just being old and bitter.
Being an actual contribution to the community.
They're great.
You can follow them on Twitter. They're fantastic. We love them. Thank you for sponsoring this part of the show.
They're also on Instagram.
They are on Instagram as well. Good job. So thank you for being a sponsor. We appreciate you. We love you. Now we get to go on to the main crux of the episode. We're here to talk about problematic content. For those of you guys who have listened to the series before Carola joined on over a year ago, me and my former co-host talked about problematic content once or twice. And if you have listened to those early episodes of the show, first, I'd like to apologize. You are now eligible for financial reimbursement. Because having to go back and listen to that and prep for this, we did not cover jack and or shit.
I actually thought you did pretty well. I was listening. Yeah, and I was listening back, and I was like, you guys were actually pretty concise. Like, I feel like you and I just sit around screaming for 2 hours, and you guys were like covering things.
Yeah, we moved. We're like, no, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this, and
we're just like.
Do you remember back in the day when a little manga called Only the Ring Finger knows?
Oh, son of a bitch.
Peachie going through it right now, like, just like
no, I fucking love it.
A little manga called Little Butterfly.
Hey! I have mentioned Little Butterfly, 10 times on this show?
And I've been there with you. So when we're going to talk about problematic content again, of course, it could be 2 hours of Carola and I screeching, but we figure, who better to bring into this descent into madness and hell than Peachie?
I mean, that is in the best way possible, because, like, I mean, I keep saying this. I'm such a big fan of Peachie's panels.
Oh, son of a bitch.
You're like,
okay, we haven't talked about how much of a simp Carola is for Peachie.
Oh my god.
No.
Because I'll be talking to her about something like, oh yeah, Peachie covered this. It's like,
oh my god.
Yeah, I was watching Peachie's stream. Oh, Peachie was doing this. Yeah, maybe.
Am I the other lover?
You are. Yes. You're the other person in this established relationship.
You're also like the third person in my actual relationship, because I was watching your panels with my girlfriend, who also really enjoyed your takes on problematic things. She was screaming throughout the whole thing. So no, but like, because I think there are a lot of things that you bring to the table with your panels that I really, really relate to. Like, because I also have a lot of problematic characters and tropes that I love, and I just love that because you're just as unhinged as we are, and I just love it when you talk about the BL that hurt you, because I'm right there with you screaming.
Yes.
and unfortunately taking advice from you, and I'll be like, oh, Peachie's talking about how much this hurt, I'm gonna add it to my list because I want to suffer. So yeah. And you know, and as I said, I've been really getting ready to talk about Vegas with you, because
yes. Oh, fuck me.
Have you seen my art that my friend made of Kin and Porsche, by the way?
Oh shit! I couldn't even tell. Oh, okay. Okay. If you're if you're like watching the video version, I am a big black screen with a P in the middle because I don't have a functioning webcam right now. And my computer is garbage. So like these beautiful people have like nice little like videos of themselves looking perfect, and I am P.
I look like a literal raccoon that just like climbed out of a trash can.
You have a crown.
I have multiple crowns.
I need a crown.
I have multiple. Actually, the creator of this just released some rubber ducks that you can put on top of your headset. And I really want a rubber duck.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, not a sponsor of the show. If she wants to sponsor, I have so many of your little 3D printed goods.
That's amazing.
But yeah, there's something that's so interesting about problematic content, because I feel like, we talked about pro-ship, anti-ship earlier in the year with Aerie, which was also phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And,
it was also a void.
It was also a genderless void, a they-them void. We are attracting they-them voids.
Yeah. That's the kind of void to get in.
It's the they-them void. And the longer that we both lurk on Twitter, which, we're still on Twitter. We are working on contingency plans. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
The muskrat is going to have to pry Twitter out of my cold dead hands.
We're still on it. Anywhere. We're not paying for it, but we are working on contingencies.
Yes. I'm a senior fucking citizen. It took me until like last year to like adjust to using Twitter, and then the literal fucking second that I get halfway decent at posting shit to Twitter, this bullshit happens.
So this is your fault.
It's my fault. It's my fault. Elon,
damn it,
I was uncomfortable.
but the more that we see these conversations about problematic content, and Peachie and us, we're almost like having these conversations separate but together, which is why it felt important to bring all of us to the table, because it's only going to get worse before it gets better. Before we finally solve the issue of what is problematic content, who gets to define what problematic content is, and what we do with that. Because I think those are the three big issues. It's not just what is problematic content, it's who gets to define what is problematic content. And I want to start with the what is. And I want to say, I believe we are all of similar age range.
Yeah.
When we were younger, we were just given whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did not exist. We're reading like just fisting casually on a Thursday. Just
one of my first BL was Okana Ganai, No Money.
Oh God.
It's basically slavery.
Oh God, that's a great place to start.
Yeah, that's a very
place
to start. Yeah, I mean, one of my first that was like super, imprinted on me was jazz.
Yeah,
which is this horrible age gap in a lot of non-con.
Yeah,
that was all of them back then.
That was all of them.
Yeah.
So, and we didn't. One, there was no critical space to say, hello, I have some issue with the fact that all of the sexual encounters I've seen have been rape.
Yeah, the internet space wasn't really a space yet.
I didn't have internet.
I did have internet. I was writing porn on Quizzilla.
Oh, that's fantastic.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. No!
Did I do something for you?
No.
Can I help you?
No, I'm just saying, because when you were writing porn on Quizzilla, that's a little later, and I did in fact have internet access then. But before that, I didn't. So, I had to go to other people's houses and read porn at their houses.
No, I get that. I didn't have like decent usable internet until like senior year of high school.
Oh no, I got internet I think when I was like 12 or 13.
I mean, I had it at school. I could go to like fucking McDonald's and steal theirs, but that was about it.
No, but yeah.
But there was no critical space to talk about that. And, you know, the title of the show is The Yaoi Shelf, which came from the very, very unique phenomena that happened at a lot of bookstores here, again, tying back to Yiggy Bean, that, you know, we would sort of congregate around like this shelf or two that had all the BL at Borders and Walden's, places that don't exist anymore.
And for us, back then and still today, the only manga store in Norway, Outland, that, you know, they had a small yaoi shelf that then grew pretty big, and then one time they decided to start moving everything out alphabetically into the normal manga section,
which is awful. I hate
it caused a riot, and then they brought back the yaoi shelf.
Yeah, but you know, yes.
Something I did when I was that particular age, because I was raised in a very Catholic family.
Same.
And I could not own certain things.
Same.
So there's this place in America called FYE.
Yes.
Yes. Do you know where we're going with this? So
not the hentai corner.
Yeah, the FYE in my particular mall had like this little corner with like smutty shit in it. And no one fucking carded you. No one.
Not the hentai corner at FYE.
They had, and I still own them. They're my pride and joy. Like 2 or 3 BL, and they're the most ratchet ass things I own. But I would go there religiously when I was allowed to like go to the mall with my fellow mall rat friends and buy them and hide them, because they never carded me.
When your parents would drop you off at the mall for a union day.
Yeah.
That was so. My aunt did that to me. My aunt also Catholic. So I got Catholic, Southern, and Black.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know how I survived as a completely heterosexual person.
Yeah, I was a Roman Catholic and Southern Baptist, so I can relate to some extent. Yeah.
So but there was this weird phenomena back in the US during like the 2000s, dating ourselves, where your parents would just like give you like $20 to $60.
Yeah.
And drop you off at the mall for anywhere between 8 to 12 hours.
Dude, it was daycare.
It was. Like, just drop you off. And it was like, you know those like old YouTube thing where like, oh, I spent 24 hours at Target, and like people will come visit you and feed you like a zoo exhibit.
So I did not have the epiphany until right fucking now that's probably not a thing anymore.
It's not. You can't drop your teenage child at the mall for a union day. Because we were there from when the mall opened till the mall fucking closed. Yeah. We were at work. We weren't doing anything. We were just fucking there.
Okay, I can escalate this a smidgen. So our mall was walking distance from my high school. So there were kids that just didn't go home. You just walk to the mall and you just hang out at the mall, or like the McDonald's that's in the same like parking lot until your parents get off work and get you.
God, but it's similar, but like, you know, this is Norway and we just roam free all the time, you know, like there are no gated communities, there are no school buses, it's just, you know, whatever, where are your kids, no one knows. And when I was in high school, okay, so I went to a school in the district because plot twist, I went to an agricultural school with like cows and everything. And then we would like go, because, you know, they had like an animal, there was like I was in small animal care. So, you know, I could potentially go on to be a vet. I just didn't want to. And we would get on, like, we would have these bus passes that were only valid until 6 p.m. So we would get on the bus home from school, but we would take it all the way to the city. And then we would just like hang out at Outland because our bus stop was right outside the comic book shop. And we were just like hanging out for hours. And it was like, oh, it's okay. We'll just wait for the bus here. And then the bus, you know, we missed bus after bus after bus, just hanging out in the comic book store, making friends with everyone who worked there. Like, you know, it was such an amazing time. And also kind of like,
like I couldn't imagine doing it now. Like when I described this scenario of like letting the mall take care of my child, like, because we were still children. Like we're like, this was like 14 to maybe like 17. That's still a child. That's still a child. but just like dropping my child off for a union workday, 8 hours at least.
Not only that, but half of the employees at the mall were only maybe a few years older than us.
Yeah.
So, like,
Or depending on the mall, they were either twice your age.
Oh yeah.
Like the 40-something-year-old guy at Hot Topic, one of them was my boss. Yeah. Anyways, problematic content.
Like dropping off your kid at the mall for 8 hours.
Like dropping off your kid at the mall for a fucking 8-hour day.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be illegal today.
I think it is. Yeah, I think that's called child neglect now. You drop your child off at the mall.
Oh shit.
But you know, we say that because again, like the name of the show is, I would try to ask my elder Fujin, elder being they were 19.
That was
that was a different phase of life. Yeah, that's an adult.
They had their own money. Okay.
They could buy the plastic wrapped porn legally. And they didn't just rely on that one parent who clearly didn't care about their child and bought it for them.
I just want to say that
Yes.
we, again, as a very secular what the fuck is happening here nation, I don't think they cared a lot about the age thing on the covers, because like I think that maybe if you were like 12 they wouldn't sell you the plastic wrap ones, but I absolutely, they didn't card us, and I knew the people working there. Not only did they know that I wasn't 18, they would keep things behind the counter for me and be like, oh, we got this one, so we held it for you because we figured you'd like it. So like
I think it depended on the day and whether you were at Walden's or Borders. Borders, for whatever reason, was like, no, we lock this shit up. You're too young. Shut up. You can't have this pornography. Walden, you could rob a Walden's and they'd thank you.
As someone who used to work for a bookstore, it really does depend. I feel like if
I
you
do
have a whole stack and you walk out the fucking door, like
yeah. Like I really do feel like you could just like grab a bag and just like slide in like Price is Right style.
That's amazing.
And no one at Walden's would say anything. But we didn't have good role models to look at when it came to problematic content. And if we did have any concerns, if you were one of those kids, like probably like us, who were reading some of this stuff and is like, hey, I'm not really crazy about this. I'm not really crazy about, this age gap, or I'm not really crazy about, the fact that this guy keeps saying no and he's been saying no for 30 pages. Right. I'm not fond of this. There was really no one who was willing to listen to you. It was, this is just the way of the world. Yeah. This is what it is. There's only going to be more rape moving forward.
Yeah, I remember, sorry. No, you can go.
Just
no, we're just gonna fight over like who's gonna talk. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. You get off the phone. No, you get off the phone. Okay, anyway.
Oh my god. Carry on.
We're gonna do this all day. When I got into Jinjo as it was fucking streaming, because I'm old, streaming, that wasn't even a thing back then.
No, it wasn't even
simulcasting. What even?
You were torrenting it. You were totally torrenting it, because that's what I did.
I think I've admitted that in panels.
Yeah, it was probably like from that one guy who went to Japan and he had like a bunch of DVDs in his trunk.
Oh my god!
No, but Junjo's later, so
Junjo is later. You're right.
Junjo, it was easier to get Junjo.
But when I was watching it, I was like maybe 16, maybe. And I remember specifically being upset about, I forget what ship they are. Terrorist? The one.
Oh, I like Terrorist.
The really huge age gap. Like they have like,
oh,
like
no,
17-year age gap.
Yeah, no, that's Terrorist. Yeah, because Egoist is the one with Nowaki and the other guy.
Yeah, I liked them when I got older and could stomach it better, but when I was a kid, I did not like. And then I also didn't like Usagi and how rapey he was in the beginning, but then I kind of came around because he was hot. So
the story of every Fujin ever. I accepted that he was a literal raccoon in a trash can.
Yeah,
because he's attractive.
Like I said, I think I could be apologetic for Usagi because I'd already read and seen so many things that were like, you just accept that that's how it is. But I also didn't like him because again, to me, he was such a wannabe Yuki 80.
Oh, okay, same. Okay, so the thing that we have in common, though I'm not as heavy as you, gravitation was my life. Like,
Yes, thank
it was
you.
my favorite. But then I like slowly moved away from it to other things. I found other waters. But Yuki, I drew him in like my high school notebooks. Like I was so obsessed.
Welcome to the
I
Yuki 80
love him.
Simp Show.
But I had one singular friend in high school that was also into BL, and they had to have gotten so sick of me. Like,
Oh, mood.
Mood. Just that is such a mood. It's like that one other friend who was kind of into it, and then you're just a literal monster.
I was so annoying. Oh,
but yeah, like we didn't really have a place to go to if we're looking at these titles and saying like, hey, I have an issue with this, or hey, I'm literally too young to understand this. And that's a big part of it. I am literally too young to understand this, because remember, most of us started reading this shit when we were way too young.
I just started puberty young.
Yeah, like most of us were in our early teens.
Yeah,
when we started reading this stuff, and I can go ahead and comfortably say that is true for a lot of Americans, because that's really when it hit for us, was like the early 2000s, early to mid.
I think for us it was a little later, just because it took so long before we got it here. Because like the manga, we started getting manga and things like in the late 90s, early 2000s, but it didn't really. The boom kind of hit around 2005, and then I remember when they got the first BL in stock that wasn't Gravitation or Fake, because they had those.
Of course, they had Fake.
Yeah, but it would be like, someone had bought the first 3 volumes, so they only had the remaining. They only had 1 volume of each one, so you wouldn't read it. I didn't read Fake until I was an adult, because I wasn't able to get it until then. So we were kind of lagging behind, since we are.
So I want to cap off this section by asking, what is problematic content? You may have heard us right now use a few different things that we kind of find as problematic. You've probably listened to other episodes of this podcast and heard other things that you may think is problematic, but looking at Peachie, and then we'll see if there's any places that we can add into. What is your definition of problematic content?
Oh God.
Pulls out 10 pages of notes.
Right.
Behind
dictionary.
This little thing. I am incredibly crazy, and before I came on to this particular podcast, I wrote myself 10 fucking pages of notes, including quotes from articles, statements that if I blanked, I could go to these statements and say them because they sound cool. And then I have a whole list at the bottom that's just examples of shit I'm into that people want to punch me over. But getting to what you just asked me, my main beef with defining problematic, like what is or is not problematic, it's relative to everyone. It even says that in the definition of problematic.
Yes.
The dictionary definition of like the English word problematic is posing a problem, difficult to solve or decide, open for question or debate, full of problems or difficulties, causing difficulties, hard to deal with. None of that says that it is outright wrong. It's something that is difficult for you as a person.
Yes.
So like you could say rape is problematic for me. And most people will agree with you. Yeah. But I also feel like to some, specifically people like me, it depends on how the content is used. It depends on the writer's intent, nuance, shit like that. A quote that I liked that I put in my 10 pages of notes is by Jamie Weinman. It's in Problem with Problematic. It's the use of a trope is sometimes justified on an individual basis, even if it
Mhm.
reinforces old stereotypes.
Mhm.
So calling it problematic sometimes seems like a way of sidestepping the question of whether it was well used or whether
Mhm.
it should have been avoided.
Yes, absolutely.
That's how I would define it, but like in defining that, it doesn't really define it because it can't be defined, in my personal opinion.
No, and I think that's a great place to kick off because that reminded me a little bit of the episode we did with Dr. Thomas, where a lot of that it is written case by case individually because,
I fucking
you
love
know,
him.
I love that.
I love
Yeah.
him.
I love him.
I really
So-
hope I can bribe him into going to CitrusCon because I fucking love everything he's ever written.
I'm sure
Oh,
he'd love to. I mean, I'm not
He'd
speaking
probably
for
love
him, but like
to be.
he's genuinely such a great human being. Like
Yeah.
he's phenomenal. But like one thing I can always think about, at least with me, and I know I can hear the ghost of Dr. Thomas saying that I'm using anecdotes. But I have this thing where sometimes like an instance of dubcon or dubious consent is okay in one work and it's not okay in another.
Yeah.
Yes.
So much of that is just based on, like you said, context and nuance and what was this an end to? Was it the no, yes? Was it just because they felt like grating it on like a seasoning?
Right.
Was it, and all of that can change how much I can essentially stomach this thing that I find reprehensible.
Yeah.
A really good example recently that I've seen, as someone who can stomach like almost fucking anything, I feel like this is pretty like extreme. Legs That Won't Walk is a manhwa that I'm reading right now, and there are two dudes in particular. One is like the main ship, and one is like the main guy's ex-boyfriend. And there's a scene with the ex-boyfriend that parallels the one with the main ship like really hard. And one of them is just straight up sexual assault. Like it made me uncomfortable. Now, granted, I have sexual trauma, so it could be different for other people, but that was awful. That was problematic. That hurt. But then there's a scene with the main guy in the manhwa where it's like, you can say no. Like you can, if you don't like something, you can say that. Like this is an option. And I sobbed. Like but I wouldn't say that manhwa is problematic because it has to do with how it was used. It was used as a plot device to make the other ship like hit harder.
Right. Absolutely.
It just depends.
And that's valid. I mean, and sometimes, and I want to put a pin in this for later because I think that's important to say, so much of that is subjective, even individually.
Yeah.
And day to day can change. We're going to put a pin in that because we have other things that we need to talk about. It's been 37 minutes. We have other things to talk about.
Dude, I am like the fucking person to get off topic. I am so sorry.
That's why we have an outline.
Listen.
That's why we have outlines. So that's a good overview of what problematic content is. Basically, it's something that you may find objectionable. What problematic isn't is something that you can use dogmatically to be horrible to other human beings.
Yeah. Just
Again,
because you
pin.
don't like it
Yep.
doesn't mean that is
Another pin, because we're going to talk about that more, but I feel like I had to say that at the top because it's already been 30-something minutes.
I'm so proud of you for just like keeping us on track.
Because we could be here all day. I care about both of you so much.
We have important conversations like gawked. Going into FYE.
Yeah, going to the mall.
Going to the mall.
I love both of you so much, but we would literally be here. I'd be like a shriveled husk.
I love you, but shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I love you both, but please. This train has left the tracks hours ago. So here's a fun question: who makes problematic content? Well, I do.
Okay,
I do.
fine. Like the person that's writing it?
Well, I think I meant to sort of humanize it because I think one big thing that a lot of like aunties will say is that they make us sound like we're just like monsters, just cranking out like murder and rape.
Yeah.
Like it's a horrible like it's like an organ grinder and it's just like cranking out atrocities and it's like, yes, my rape machine. And it's like
I have a note on that.
Of course you do.
We're just
I have.
Yes,
Just
please.
because Coogie chose to write about a relationship between a serial
Yeah.
killer and a stalker does not mean that the point of the media was to go kill people because it's hot. So, like,
Yeah,
you
no,
just
that
missed the goddamn point. Anyway.
Yes. But, I meant to humanize problematic content. And, I know our audience isn't very anti or anti-heavy, which I very much appreciate because I do not have the mental fortitude or attention span to deal with it. But for those that may be listening to this and hoping to engage in a meaningful dialogue, I write problematic content and I consume problematic content. Does that make me a bad person? No, other things make me a bad person. There are many other things that make me a bad person.
yeah, same.
Self-awareness.
It's not the fictional age gaps that I'm writing about right now with Full Metal Alchemist. That's not what makes me a bad person.
No.
There are many other things that make me a bad person. But I say that because there's a lot of more people, probably than any of us like admitting, even as fans of problematic content, that sometimes you'll share something and it's like, oh, I read that. Like, oh, you?
Yeah.
And you have that moment of being taken aback because, this could be like your vanilla friend. And it's like, oh, yeah, I've already read, all of Doublemint. So it's like, oh.
Yeah.
See, like the stuff that more vanilla people think is, quote, problematic or is bad doesn't even affect me. Like, I feel like I'm at another fucking level. Like, Doublemint made me cry the first time I read it, but it was more emotional than it was like, oh God.
Yeah, it wasn't the murder that upset me in Doublemint.
Oh, Jesus.
It was everything else.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very true,
Yeah.
And I will every once in a while get someone who's like, how could you read this? Like Carola and I have this with Banana Fish. Banana Fish washed over me like nothing. And Carola every day like goes into a room and prays over Banana Fish.
So much pain. I am in so much pain. Why? Yoshida Sensei, why? I'm fine.
And I'm just like, yeah, it happened.
Oh,
there was Yuki Eri light in the series.
That wasn't even it. It's the ending. Why can't I mean, it's like I don't want to go completely off topic, but I was listening to Peachie's Vegas video. And I love the bit when you were like, it's a fucking mafia story. What did you expect? And I'm over here like, listen here. Okay, yes, I know it's a mafia story. I love mafia stories. That's why I decided to watch it. Does not mean I wasn't screaming every single episode, but why can't they just be happy?
Right. Okay. The issue with Kin Porsche, this specifically a giant portion of the fucking fandom, especially when it was simulcasting. It's a fucking mafia drama, and you want to like come into the conversation in the general fandom like, oh, that was rape. That wasn't very nice. Oh, why did they do that to that other group? Why that? Oh, I thought they were friends. I'm like, dude, what? Are we watching the same show?
No, exactly. I just wanted, on one hand, I wanted every single episode to be like episode 6 or episode 8, which I rewatch religiously because that date, they're so fucking cute. And when they're in the jungle, like, listen, Peachie, I can't. But also, I do live for the drama and the pain because I like to suffer.
Yes.
But I also don't like to suffer, you get me?
I got so fucked up over Vegas that the people I was watching it with on Discord like checked up on me. Like you got really quiet. I'm like, I'm not okay.
Oh no. I mean, I will admit I don't love him. But
I completely understand. He is a train wreck.
He is, and even Bible says it, right? But he's played so well, and I think he's a really, really interesting character. Do I want to like maybe talk sternly to him a little bit? Yes. to be diplomatic, but
do I want to put him in a corner and give him time out?
Did I cheer when Tankun hit him over the head with that tray? Yes.
Okay, that was fucking funny. Though.
Are you guys good?
No.
No.
Okay.
Oh, but yeah, but also we come at him from different angles, and I'm sure we'll get into that. But yeah, I don't know how this spurred from my banana fish meltdown.
I was just letting you do it. I was letting you have it.
I just needed that moment to just collect myself.
I love
Clearly. But I definitely wanted to make a point, and I'm sure that Peachie can back us up on this, is that just because there's a creator that makes content that you personally don't think is great, that's not an excuse to harass them.
Yeah.
It's not an excuse to leave them death threats. It's not an excuse to dox them.
Nope.
We have a pretty strong anti-doxing stance here at the Yaoi Shelf. Just because a creator makes something that you don't like doesn't mean that you get to be mean to them. There are plenty of creators that make things I don't like. I don't like seeing Suichi Shindo happy. So that doesn't mean
you have to come at me every
I don't like
every day.
I don't like Suichi Shindo's happiness.
Peachie, help me.
Ever.
Are we talking anime Suichi or manga Suichi?
I'm talking every iterance of that pink
son of a
thing.
bitch.
Yes.
God.
I don't like his joy.
Listen, I came here to have a good time.
I don't like his joy. Does that mean that I get to go? Yeah. Does that mean that I get to go write angry, hateful letters to Maki Murakami? No, but I am gonna write a letter about Riku Kitazawa. How the fuck is he here? Where did he come from? What time loop did he fall out of? He's dead, Carola.
Oh, God. I love y'all so much.
I can't. No, but what? No. I'm trying very hard to compose myself. The only reason you don't want Shuichi to be happy is because you are a Toma apologist.
Yes, I am. You're correct.
And
It's
I
okay.
would have punched Toma in the face if they say that.
Okay, Carola, my number one simp. You want to be real mad at me?
Oh no! Okay.
I fucking
Go.
love Toma. I fucking love it. I may be a mild Toma Yuki shipper. I'm sorry.
Yuki shipper. Yes.
No! It's fine. It's fine. Because you two are entitled to these delusions that you have.
Yes.
No, but I see it. Like, I absolutely see where you're coming from, because Toma has an incredibly unhealthy obsession with Yuki, and this is not brother-in-law kind of love. It's
better.
So I see that, but
Yes.
but also please refer to my FujoCon panel from 2021, which is out on the YouTube, where I break down Yuki and Shuichi's relationship and how pure and wonderful it is, and how beautiful it is, and notice the rings in the final chapter, and that's all I'm saying.
But I don't want joy.
So
I don't know. I want problem.
I am the biggest fucking yandere simp. So
hell, I would ship Suichi with Taki Aizawa. Just let them have a 3-day in paradise.
What?
God.
Why?
Okay, that's a lot.
Hello, welcome to the Yaoi Shelf. My name is Amanda, and I'm a gremlin.
He's a little bitch. Like,
hello.
No, but you know that one doujin that Murakami did with us with the three. Yes, I love that one. I hate Taki Aizawa, but that's one good doujin.
I do love Taki Aizawa. So who makes problematic content? Hey, most of us do in some form or fashion.
Apparently.
Most people that you know, probably in a weird way, make problematic content. Hell, there are some writers that you know of that are famous, more famous than us, that might make problematic content. I would like to point my direction at Stephen King. Everything that he's written is problematic.
Okay, that's a point that I have in my notes somewhere, but I'm not going to look it up just because I'm funnier ad lib. So why the fuck is it that as soon as you make something gay, now it's problematic. Why is it okay to watch Saw or watch like horror movies, watch like fucking Freddy, and they're entertaining? But then if you made Freddy gay, it's problematic because now we're making gay people problematic.
Freddy was always gay.
Spoiler, Freddy is gay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was trying to make a point. He's the only one I could think of.
I'm sorry. Sidebar. Freddy was always gay.
No,
listen, Nightmare Part 2.
1,000% valid. But like anyway, yeah,
you're correct because I watched some American television. There were a few years where I just like noped out and like mentally manifested in Japan and was only watching anime and didn't watch like Parks and Rec and The Office or anything like that.
I haven't seen any of those.
Like I just like
in a Japanese
I just like noped out and was just like watching Bleach for like 5 years.
I swear to God, I'm not like Pikotaku. I just literally don't really enjoy Western content.
Same.
And I have that issue, with a lot of Western content that it's like, this is worse.
Yeah.
This is worse.
Kids watch this shit. It's on like fucking cable.
Right. Like I'm trying to think of this show that I was watching. So I went through rewatching ER a couple of years ago because I love ER. I love medical dramas. I know Carola doesn't like medical dramas, but I love medical dramas. And there's so much on ER that's like played for laughs.
Yeah.
That's like yes.
I do like medical dramas. I just can't watch them because I'm homophobia.
Yes.
But
but like there's so much on ER that is objectively horrible.
Oh yeah.
That is played as a joke. And that was on cable for like 20 fucking years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A really good one that you brought up in that first episode on Problematic was Law and Order. Law and Order is fucked up. Oh my God.
We are getting that issue now with the resurrection of, serial killer fandom.
Yeah.
Where, we have parents who dressed up their children as Jeffrey Dahmer for Christmas.
That is so fucked.
But the gays are the problem.
Yeah.
It's my boys kissing manga is corrupting children. We have parents dressing their children as Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah. I saw something somewhere, but I can't find the fucking research, so it might have been fake. But anyway, there was apparently research done that was comparing people that like real life serial killer like documentaries or like dramas or whatever the fuck compared to people that like villains, like fictional villains. And the differences between the two are stark. Like people that like genuinely like serial killers would be more prone to thinking thoughts like that, like I want to kill someone, or I don't know, I guess like not being as affected by real people getting hurt as someone who's into fictional villains.
There's a lot of desensitization in it. I toe the line a lot with that stuff because there's a part of me that is genuinely super interested in like serial killers.
Yeah, there's a difference between liking it academically and liking it because you like watching people die. Like,
and if anything, I like it usually historically. Like almost all the serial killers that I quote unquote like stan are like long dead.
Yeah.
Like they're not like the people that have like a feminist sainthood for Eileen Wuornos. I don't understand you. People who are like Eileen Wuornos, feminist activist. It's like, Jesus Christ. What are you doing?
Yeah. It's kind of like, how there's no right way to say this, but okay. One of the quote unquote greatest female serial killers happened to come from Sarbu, which is right next to where I live. Like,
right.
Yeah, Belganess.
Yes!
And, and we're kind of proud of that, like, because she's Norwegian and she emigrated and killed all those men, and it's horrible, but it's so fucking fascinating.
Well, and so I clocked Belganess immediately because Belganess overlaps with my favorite serial killer, H.H. Holmes. H.H. Holmes is who he learned insurance fraud from.
Yeah.
So, but like, again, this happened over 100 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
And we both can acknowledge that what they did was terrible. I'm not like...
And it is terrible.
Yeah, I'm not like wearing like a Belganess for President t-shirt.
There's a difference
No.
between liking something and romanticizing it.
Yeah,
Yes,
and it's
and that
like, being so fascinated, like, we are with Jonestown, because the two of
Oh,
us in
Jesus
Jonestown,
Christ. Ooh.
it's so fucking fascinating, and it's
Okay.
awful.
But also
as-
in our private comments, we are terrible about it.
Oh, I fucking
Yeah,
love
but
it.
that's different, because that is
Yeah.
I have a fascination with cults in general.
yeah.
My
yeah.
mother was in a cult.
Oh,
My father was in a very cult-like church.
Oh my god.
it's so, it's just because it's so wild
It's
that
fascinating.
it is trying
And-
to understand the psychology and like
and
everything around it.
From the media perspective, as biological females, oftentimes women watch a lot of true crime stuff, almost like a lecture on how not to get murdered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is sad that I have to say that. But
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah,
of
no,
us are
that's
a
fucked
lot of us are doing research, like, oh, okay, so that guy, check your windows, check your tires, check under the seat, make
Mhm.
sure that there's not a rose on your windshield. Okay, go.
Right.
And then you go shopping at HEB. But I think it's important to say, exactly as Peachie started, that so much of this stuff in Western media is fine, whatever. I would love to bring all of us back to a show called Glee, where an effeminate, but very hypersexual musical theater teacher ended up sleeping with one of his students and marrying her when she was of age.
What? Listen, I've
Oh
only
my
watched the first
God.
season of Glee because
Yeah,
I absolutely
the
hated
teacher-
it.
The teacher ended up sleeping with one of his students when she was still a minor, and then they got married later.
Like, I feel rude for hating it so much. It was so popular, but like,
It was so
I
popular.
can't.
I
I
never-
like a lot of fucked up shit, but like, no.
Glee,
It
the
was
most
just
fucked up show
creepy.
ever.
He's
I
fucking
like-
creepy.
I liked Britney because she was so fucking stupid and it made me so happy. And I loved Sue Sylvester, but
Yeah,
but
but-
Jane Lynch.
We
Queen.
had that literal storyline happen in Kichijimi My Hero, and people
Yeah.
love talking about how problematic and horrible
Yeah.
Kichijimi My
Yeah.
Hero is, even though Setagawa is always very aware of his age and how it affects his
Yeah.
relationship with Kosuke. Kosuke is the one usually being a horny bastard, but like there's all of these conversations about like, I know the implications of this, I know that this is bad, I know this means we can't really be public with our relationships, I acknowledge that I'm a minor, but also I
Yeah.
love this guy.
I'm
Yeah.
arguably legitimately problematic when it comes to age gaps. My wife's
That's fair.
9 years older than me.
Oh,
Like, we didn't meet until I was 25. So it's like, again, nuance. I am not affected by age gaps. Like, I don't give a shit.
I think I am. I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but like I think I am when the context isn't there. One of the things I love about Hichijimi My Hero is how self-aware Setagawa is.
Yeah.
He is definitely on equal footing with Kosuke. He knows there is not a power imbalance there. If anything, I would say Setagawa runs the relationship.
Yeah.
So there's no power imbalance in that relationship.
I love it.
He has been Kosuke Oshiba's wife for many more years than anyone wants to acknowledge.
I will never get over the English dub because, oh my god, is it Todoroki that
It
voices Kosuke and
It
says
is.
something along the lines of like, I want to fuck you, and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, and it's very distracting because it's Todoroki. Yes,
Yeah.
and it's
That's
like, what are you
great.
doing here? How are you
Oof.
here?
Yeah.
But let's move on to our third point, which is why is problematic content? You've probably heard this a little bit as we talk about it, which is sometimes it's really fucking cathartic, as Peachie
Mhm.
mentioned at top or middle of show. Sometimes there's some trauma there.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
there's some trauma present.
Almost my
yeah.
entire shtick is around that.
Yeah, I definitely do test positive for trauma.
Yes.
And-
1,000%.
And I'll be over here. I
yes.
just want to, and I'm over here like I don't have that type of trauma.
No,
I don't have
that's
sexual
valid.
trauma.
That's
Yeah.
valid.
And that's exactly it. Like you don't have to have trauma, and you don't
Mhm.
have to have like you can enjoy problematic content just for the sake of enjoying the content. Because
Sure.
if that franchise, that series, whatever, gives you something, makes you feel something, those feelings are valid, and you are allowed
Absolutely.
to enjoy it.
Absolutely.
I
I by no
try-
means. Yes.
Oh, I try to express that really bluntly when I talk, because when I go on these fucking subjects and write about them and present or whatever, 9 times out of 10, 99% of my content is surrounded by how I relate it from a trauma standpoint. But you do not need to self-insert. You don't need to have trauma. You can just fucking like things.
Yeah, absolutely. No, what I was getting at is, there is not a negligible, difference between people who have trauma and people who enjoy this content. And I definitely want to say, for those of us who do have trauma and like problematic content, is all of it cathartic? No. Is some of it cathartic? Yes. Is all of it our business? Also, yes.
No. Well, wait. I think I took that wrong.
No, it's our businesses, and like I don't have to explain it to you. Like,
yes.
If you are on the outside coming into that, like, oh my god, I can't believe you like this. I should not have to like display my trauma. And tell you why I was traumatized, and ergo I'm too okay with Yashiro taking it on his desk.
Yeah, like
you have to do that.
It's literally the same thing as, if you want to talk about the whole queer baiting thing and, Kid Connor and that whole circus. No one owes you their fucking life story, be that their sexuality or their trauma or what the fuck ever. You are entitled to like the things you like and consume the things you do. And again, like Dr. Thomas said, that BL fans are some of the most critical people out there. We consume critically. We analyze.
Been engaging critically for more than any of us like admitting.
Yeah.
I think psychoanalyze Teletubbies.
Yeah. And even,
I swear to God.
But even if you're not like the three of us who like really loves getting into the nitty gritty and like psychoanalyzing the characters, if you like it, if you just enjoy, like, it's okay if you just think that character is fucking hot. Like, yeah, he's a 2D person. Go for it. You're allowed to enjoy.
He's a 2D person. He doesn't have rights.
He doesn't have rights.
He's not protected under the Geneva Convention. Fuck him up.
Oh my
God. Like, yeah, and again, like I've said so many times before, going back to the whole why are we focusing so much on the problematic queer content? Like, I know that there is a lot of discussion and debate around Western shows and shoujo, but I just want to bring shoujo up again and like talk about how many problematic tropes there are in shoujo and how common it is, with, again, dare I say it, Peach Girl and Hot Gimmick, for instance, like how rapey it is, how abusive it is, and then we're kind of like we're just supposed to forget about all of that, and then it's romantic. But if you do the same in BL, then you're an apologist and you're a pedophile and you're all of these things. And I'm like, okay, but what about shoujo?
One of my most hated characters on this fucking planet is Takumi from Nana. He's
I love to hate Takumi. Oh my God.
To hurt him in so many ways. Like, he's so hot. He's so hot.
I know. He's so fucking hot. I hate it so much.
But
and
like,
so I know. Oh my God.
It's okay. Okay. I see your face. And it's okay. It's okay.
I don't disagree with you for whatever reason. I was just like,
it's okay.
I was just like, I just realized that that's a jar character for Peachie. Peachie, you put him in the jar.
Yeah, but I know, because I have the exact same feeling. I hate him so much. I want to murder him, but also.
But like, okay. So I recently rewatched it now that I'm older and I can understand things, because again, I watched a lot of this shit when I was like, I don't know, 13 through 17. I couldn't pick up on some of it yet because I didn't have the lived experience. That's another problem with, I'm going to sound really boomer, is a lot of the younger generation wants to come at us about shit that they have never had to experience yet or know much about, and then go into it with a guilty until proven innocent standpoint, which is bullshit. But anyway, getting off topic. I rewatched Nana, and when I first watched it when I was a kid, I fucking lividly hated him. Like, holy shit, hated him. But now I still don't like him, but I get it. Like, I get it more now. Dude's got trauma. Dude's got mass trauma. Dude wants to be a daddy so bad. So bad. And it's unfortunate the way that he went about that. I feel for him, but at the same time, fuck you. Like, oh God, it hurts me. But it hurts me on a trauma level. So someone who doesn't have that trauma could be like, daddy, yes, fuck me. But like, I can't do that.
And that's totally fine. And I think
that's
valid. Yeah, and I think it's important to say, you know, for the one I want to talk about, sometimes when you watch something when you're younger, you have a knee-jerk reaction, or you don't have a knee-jerk reaction. And then sometimes you watch something when you're older and it's like, oh, this is gross. Like it's actually really, really funny for me. A lot of things that I didn't find problematic when I was younger, I actually have a much lower tolerance for now. Like my tolerance for that like 90s, 2000s BL trope of like no, yes. I have zero tolerance for that now. Especially when it's framed like, oh, he's so romantic. Look at how he's shonen he is. It's okay that I resisted for the first hour of sex. Like, that's awful. That's a crime.
You're not wrong.
I don't like that.
I'm almost the opposite, and I feel bad.
That's okay.
I played Sweet Pool when I probably shouldn't have, because it wasn't licensed yet, and we won't talk about that. It was a different time. Anyway, I played Xenia first, who, if you haven't played Sweet Pool, he is the fucking psycho blonde, and of course I love him first because I love that type. But anyway, his bad ending fucked me up on levels I could not tolerate at the age that I played it. But then when it got licensed, I bought it, replayed it. That is nothing. That's nothing. That is nothing. I have no idea why that scarred me so bad, because it's not that bad.
And it's amazing that, you know, and I want to pin in on the subjectiveness of it.
Yes.
For me, it's all about framing.
Yes.
Yep.
And it's all about nuance. So like, I can take a shocking amount of non-con, but I don't take that 90s framing anymore. I'm like, oh, it's okay. He really loves me. It's fine. No, there has to be some acknowledgement of what happened isn't okay.
It kind of ties into the legs that won't walk thing that I talked about earlier. There's so many parallels between the sex that the main character has. Some of it is very obviously bad, like bad. And even though I can stomach non-con, I have a fucking line. And that's no. That's no. But on the same level, I love yandere. And there's so much non-consensual sex in that shit, but I stomach it better because, one, I'm not looking at it as a realistic thing, and two, it doesn't trigger me in the ways that legitimate rape triggers me.
Yeah, and I think I want to translate us into what is all of this drama with problematic content? Because, you know, we've talked about, you know, the problematic content that, you know, either squicks us or does it for us. We've talked about some problematic characters that, you know, probably do it too much for us. But that probably do a little bit too much for us. But I think it's important to talk about what this current hellscape apotheosis we're in relation to problematic content. But I think just took a year off of all of our lives, because really, and I really hate going back there, but there are two series that I can think of that really brought us to where we are, and it's Voltron and My Hero Academia.
Voltron.
It's Voltron and My Hero. Those are the two series that I feel like have the most visceral reactions. And I
just want to say, as I've never been into Voltron. I've never watched
I haven't
Voltron.
either.
And I don't think it's fair that I have to suffer because the Voltron fandom decided to blow up on itself. Like,
because
excuse
the Voltron
me.
fandom shit the bed for everyone.
Yeah, and then it fucked it up for everyone.
What I'm most fascinated about, as someone who kind of like watches My Hero on the periphery because there are some villains I want to fuck.
Same. Yeah.
I don't know why this show is it. I don't know why this is the one that everyone has decided to rally against. If someone can explain it to me, because there's shonens that are sexualizing teens. There's shonens that have these unhealthy relationships. There's shonens with objectively bad characters. I don't know why people aren't talking about Chainsaw Man in that way. I don't know why people aren't talking about Jujutsu Kaisen that way then. I don't know why people aren't talking about One Piece in that way then. Why are we only talking about My Hero?
So I feel like, and this is going to sound absolutely fucking ridiculous coming from me, but they have some good points sometimes. There are things that they'll talk about, and that's another thing that I feel like the people that do this shit don't give people like me fucking credit for, is when you come for me, I'm going to go, okay, is that legit or not? Because I psychoanalyze everything. And I'll think about it and then decide if that's really a problem or not. And me wanting Tomura to fucking pin me against a wall and kick me in the face is not a bad thing. No. And you coming for me over a fictional of age character with fucking hands all over his face because I have a hand kink. And that's not your problem, for one. And he doesn't fucking exist. So
he's not real.
I'm listening to you. I'm listening. And I will take what you have said into consideration. But it is up to me to decide if I'm wrong, because I'm the one consuming the content. And you don't have to deal with me. You can just leave. You can leave. Just don't interact with me. Block me.
I wish I understood what it is about My Hero, because I don't even think they're making good points sometimes.
No!
I really don't. Like, I don't even give them that much credit. Yes.
No.
I think maybe, I don't know, there's a part of me that thinks that it has a lot to do with timing, because the generation that is growing up now, that is kind of like at the epicenter of this whole disaster, you know, they have grown up with, you know, they're like the post Tumblr generation, the social justice generation, and I thought about this earlier. This is a bit of a tangent, but remember how when I said like a million episodes ago that we emulated our elders, and so, you know, we today, if we write, you know, content warning, gay, you know, that sounds offensive, but that was how we did it when we started getting into fanfic, and that is how we saw our fandom elders do it. So we just we mimicked that, and I think that, so the kids that are growing into fandoms now, you know, they grow into a culture where they think that this is how fandom is supposed to be, that you're supposed to be so critical to the point where, you know, you think that fandom equals activism, but you don't understand, because, you know, your brain isn't developed, that harassing real life people over fictional characters, that's not the way to do it. And then Hero Academia comes out as, you know, the big shonen series for this generation. And, you know, if you combine those, you have the perfect storm, because you have these wannabe social justice warriors and who want to do the right thing. You have the biggest fucking series, and you have the kidding culture. And I think all of that together makes this disastrous combination, and it's such a huge series.
And it's weird, because I think also I have to give a shout out to my favorite thing, voice actor fuckery, where you have the voice actor for Deku being like, oh, well, we don't support Endeavor, he's an abuser. You work for Funimation, you support literal abusers. Fuck you.
Listen,
the most heartbreaking one, like the one that almost put me in my fucking grave, and I'm gonna name drop because I'm upset. J. Michael Tatum.
Tatum, you betrayed us so many times.
Loved him. I've met him multiple times. I used to give out dick suckers during my yaoi panels, and I gave him one once, and we had a moment, and it was amazing and beautiful. But holy shit, oh my god, Okay, I'm not a pedophile for liking Ciel. I'm not. That's one big fucking thing. These fucking people need to look up what a pedophile is.
Thank you.
Before throwing that word around, because
Yes.
you're lessening what that word means.
Yes.
And it's dangerous. You're more dangerous than I am for liking a fictional fucking character who doesn't age. Like, what?
Yeah, and you know, to get into semantics, I've said this before. Pedophile means you're attracted to prepubescent children, right?
Yes.
So if we're talking about teenagers, there's another word for that. I can never remember it, but it doesn't matter because
no
again, they are fictional characters.
And they're not drawn like children.
No, and we've talked about this. You don't look at, again, let us look at Free. No one in Free looks like a 15-year-old.
No. Oh my god.
I mean, Nagisa looks like a 12-year-old with muscle.
Like, we don't talk about this for Western shows.
No.
Yeah.
We don't talk about this with Glee. It's like, oh, well, she's supposed to be, she's an actress who's 30. Yeah, but she's playing a 16-year-old. And she's dressed like a 16-year-old.
This is also mostly a Western problem.
It is no, it's not just a Western problem, because the voice actor for, I think it's Endeavor, wished the voice actor who plays Shoto, like, because they just had a kid together, he and his wife, saying, oh, well, don't turn out like the Todoroki family. Bitch!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's not even funny!
My God.
What?
But also, again, like, it's not even, I'm sorry to do this to you, but this isn't even a Western problem originally. It's a fucking American problem. And then the rest of the world have to deal with this psycho-puritanism coming out of the US.
Dude,
like, excuse me.
We're not happy about it. Like,
no, I know. Like, I'm not blaming you.
It's just like,
Americans hate ourselves probably a lot more than everyone else hates us.
And again,
shit.
I've been in conversations with Americans where I have tried to explain that I live in a very secular country. We have, I mean, the way that our schools work is different. The way that our government works is different, and the sexual, like the minimum, what is it? The age of consent here is 16, and everyone here knows that teenagers have sex. We are accepting of teenagers having sex, and we're also aware of the fact that teenagers are in relationships with slightly older teens and sometimes people in their early 20s. And while that sometimes isn't a good thing, because they tend to look at it more on what maturity level are you on, and are you mentally compatible. And we have this, we've always had this kind of like more critical thinking way of approaching this, but then this purity culture came and now everything is insane.
Well, and I think it's emblematic of a bigger issue in America. I'm going to get political for 5 seconds. Please don't flame me.
No, I think I know where you're going, because I have the same fucking opinion.
We have an issue in the US right now where a very loud minority is speaking for a majority.
Yeah.
You can see that in the Senate. You can see that in the House. We just had midterm elections not too long ago, and Texas stayed red, which is a shock to most people because a lot of it is blue.
Can I just point out that this is all very confusing to me, because to us, red and blue is the opposite. So blue are the conservatives, confused. And red are the
we're very confused every time we have to look at your stuff too.
It's very confusing. Like, agree on a color scheme, please.
we agreed. You guys are doing it differently.
Okay, that's almost a perfect example though, because culture is not one set fucking thing. And you cannot assume that because you feel something and what you learned is right.
Yes.
Based off of like your own fucking morals, because it's different everywhere.
It is.
And we do talk about that a lot. I'm just gonna real quick how especially content coming out of Asia and things coming out of Japan, that you have cultural and historical contexts that are very different, and that you can't get on, you can't get up on your high horse and tell someone that the way that they've created representation or whatever is wrong, because they're at a different stage than your country. Like, I have friends in conservative countries who who have to pirate BL because they can't buy it because it's illegal, and it's the only form of representation of gay identity that they get, and they they can't have they can of course discuss, is this a good portrayal of this character, like is this a good relationship, is it a toxic relationship, but still this is the representation that they have, this is the content that they see themselves and their own identities in. And we as Westerners in countries that are more progressive on the LGBTQ plus front don't get to dictate how they consume and create their reality.
Correct. One of my favorite things is Black anime fans demanding more Black characters in anime. Ethnically homogenous Japan, you need more Black people.
And the idea that, oh, but all anime characters are white. No! That's the thing! They're not.
They're not.
I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people are naming their kids after Japanese animation these days, but like that thing that someone posted in our Discord last night. I can't.
It's so cursed. I saw it on TikTok.
And that dude who was in the paper here recently talking about some scammy festival, and this was an adult who deadass had changed his name to Uchiha Sasuke, and I wanted to burn his Please don't. But aside from those people, how many white people are named friggin', Uchiha Sasuke? They are white.
I want to put a bow on this by talking about, again, like this current apotheosis, because we could be here all day. And as much as I love you both, that is not how I'd like to spend my one day before I have to go back to work.
It's okay. We also have a live that we can do this.
But this current drama, I want to also say, is very fucking recent. Because if you listen to us talk about ye olden days, if any of us had even a valid concern about something that was problematic, I would like for you each to answer, who could you go to?
Oh, Jesus.
My
one friend who was also my girlfriend at the time.
You're holding your little manga.
Yeah.
And there's a problematic that squicks you. Who can you speak to?
Like, I could talk to friends, but they all thought I was insane. Like, it's not a productive conversation. It's me info dumping and them going, that's dumb. And then that's the end of the conversation.
Right.
Yeah, and then, or you'd have like you'd say to a friend or whatever, like, yeah, I read this and I don't understand how I'm supposed to think that this is romantic because I think that this is a little bit fucked up. And then they're like, well, don't read it then. And that was it. They'd be like, why are you reading it then if you don't like it? I'm like, because I bought it. I don't know.
And Carola, if you've listened to the show before, you've heard Carola do this with me a few times where, I'll be like, oh, I hated this fan fiction. It's like, yeah, but you've read all of it.
Yeah, and because
okay,
you are like in the conversation with Dr. Thomas. Yes, I know that the dove is dead. I just need to know.
Yes, I know the dove is dead. Everyone told me the dove is dead. I still want to check the bag. I don't know how dead the dove is.
Right. I have had this rule since I started making fucking content. I do not want to shit talk something unless I have consumed all of it.
Yeah.
Because it could change. They could get a redemption arc. I could come around. Maybe they don't. And if they don't, I've read the whole thing and I can make points and I can info dump about it. Because these people don't want to take in this fucking content before dragging us. And that's stupid.
And I do want to give probably more credence than these people deserve. Yeah, if something is disturbing to you, you don't necessarily want to go into it. I get it. But there's this beautiful thing called do not engage.
Mm-hmm.
I was of a generation of anime fan and yaoi fan. Peachie might have been a little bit of a part of this. I know Carola maybe. But when you told your friends outside of your like weeb friend group that you liked anime, they inevitably showed you their hentai Bible. It was always like a weird step. I had so many hentai Bibles thrown at me the minute I was like, I like Inuyasha, and it's like the most hateful tentacle fucking that anyone could ever dream of.
I know we didn't have hentai Bibles, but go on.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know what a hentai Bible is a hentai Bible is a 3-ring binder with the little page protectors and printed out images of poorly translated hentai.
Oh, that is luxurious.
It's usually segmented. Yeah, no, it's segmented with little tabs, and it is presented to you because this is that desperate man's entire life.
Yeah.
If you have, like, that was a luxury back then. If you could use precious printer ink to print your
No. You weren't using your home printer. You were doing this at school.
Yeah.
In the Christian daylight, you were using your school's printer.
I don't think, to be fair, I don't think we used our school printers for anything because they never worked. Like,
I knew these guys. I knew these guys. They were the first ones in the library because I used to work in the library. They were the first ones in the library. They were the ones sitting outside waiting for it to open.
Yeah.
So they could sit and print out their hentai without anyone really noticing. Because if you have people who are waiting on prints, they're going to see your fucking titty porn.
Yeah.
So we didn't get away with that. We didn't get away with that as easily at my school. I grew up in a very conservative place in Kentucky, but it was definitely a thing. But I feel like ours was more fan art than it was printing shit out.
So there was this horrible thing that would happen where it's like, oh, I hear you like anime, from the sketchiest, oiliest guy at your school.
Yeah.
He's probably trenchcoat mafia.
Most of them wanted to fuck me.
Yeah. I was also very underage. They definitely wanted to fuck me.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I hear you like anime. Like, yeah, I like Inuyasha. And then it's like, poof, hentai Bible. And it's like, this isn't Inuyasha. This... we didn't have outlets for this. And I get it. Like, that's, in hindsight, that's bad. In hindsight, that's not good. In hindsight, was it great that every fictional sexual encounter that I saw was rape? No. Did that do things for me? Yeah, it did fuck with my brain a little bit that I read that every sexual encounter is probably not going to be something that you like. That's not good.
I didn't take it like that, but probably not in the most healthy way anyway. I learned through the fucked up things I read that I liked a very specific type of thing.
Fair.
And I kind of figured myself out through non-con.
Fair.
But that doesn't mean that, like, when I read non-con, it's like when I talked about Usagi, that I was like, oh yeah, rape him. That's not, no. But I figured out the hard way. Right. I figured out the hard way that, like, if I had a choice of going on a consensual, wholesome, cute date or getting pinned against a wall, I would take the other option. So
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
No, you go ahead.
But no, go ahead. It wasn't.
I think where I'm most, frankly, concerned is the lack of ability to have meaningful conversation. Because like everything with this, like, anti versus pro, this problematic apotheosis, this fetishizing bullshit, there's a kernel of something in there that is valid.
Okay, for one, fetishizing does not mean what they think it means.
Yeah,
and
empty signifiers all over.
Yeah, I'm trying to give them credit.
Thank you. They appreciate it, I think.
I'm trying to give them more credit than they deserve.
I just wish that they owned a dictionary. Like, God.
I am trying to give them more credit than they deserve.
The dictionary.com is free, people.
It is.
Yeah.
But there's something in there about, like, hey, maybe minors shouldn't be reading this. You're right. They probably shouldn't. Hey, maybe if all of your depictions of love are actually non-con, that's bad. You know what? Fair, valid. Mm-hmm. Hey, maybe we shouldn't do some of these things. Cool. The problem is that, one, it's minors yelling at adults, which is my favorite part of it.
Yeah.
It's minors yelling at whole ass adults.
It's minors coming into adult spaces.
Yeah, there's the demarcation line in the pool, and the minors are swimming under the barrier and saying, "Stop reading the thing you wrote."
I would really like if they could give me solid proof of how my choices in manga is affecting real people.
Yeah.
Who have I hurt? Introduce me.
You've hurt
Yeah,
me personally.
and
I'm kidding.
you know, and
I mean,
I love it.
No,
You know,
you
like
have never hurt me. I'm teasing.
like that one tweet that was like, I can't remember it like entirely by heart how it went, but you know, it was a minor who was upset that this, I mean, and there are tons of these, but a minor upset that this random ass adult who they happened to see on their timeline because someone had retweeted them or something, and they were like, how dare you not block me? Like, bitch, they didn't know you
I
existed
saw
until
that.
you interacted. Like, what, you have to protect yourself.
They
You
didn't
have
know
to
you were real.
like,
Swear
and
to
that's the
fucking
thing.
God.
Yeah, and you know, and it's like, and I say this a lot, like I was talking to my friend, like a real life friend, and I sent them a snap, and out because I was like on the internet reading all this BS, and I was like sending them a snap where I'm looking absolutely exasperated, trying to figure out how my fictional preferences apparently makes me a pedophile when I abhor children in
Yeah.
real life.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
excuse me.
Yeah.
I hate children. I don't.
I
know.
don't want to interact with children ever. But
There's
apparently,
There's a
because
picture. There's a picture of one of the actresses at Disney, and she's playing Maleficent. And there's like this little girl hugging her, and she's just like,
No.
"That's me every time."
yeah, I know.
I don't want you near me. I don't want you to look at me. I don't want to perceive this. No, I say that also, Peachie. I'm totally kidding. You have done nothing but make me happy with your decisions.
No, I'm sure I have offended everyone at some point.
But I do want to say with this is that, yeah, the Sakura apotheosis is particularly exhausting because, one, it's hard to have a meaningful conversation with people who are just going to come out the bat, call you a pedophile or a fetishizer. It's really, you know, Dr. Thomas said it best. It is really hard to meaningfully, you know, engage in conversation with these people. It's also usually just wrong. There's this huge overstatement of harm that you see, that like, oh, if you like Endeavor, that means that you support actual child abuse. I support Endeavor because I can bounce 5 quarters off his titty. That's why I support Endeavor. It has nothing to do with children or abuse. And everything to do with the abuse I want him to do to me in bed.
And it's like, you know, I don't know. I think I saw this maybe in your notes, Peachy, but the thing about how even if you do present them with actual research and actual facts, they don't care because they don't want this. They want to be correct according to themselves. They want to earn cookie points from their fellow cultists.
There is no debate. They don't know how.
And how antithetical.
New word. I'm accepting it in my dictionary.
I don't know what just happened. How antithetical that was to how we came up. How much of our Fujin experience was accepting things that we could not do anything about.
Yeah. And I think that is such a great point because we've been around for a while. We're old. You know? I'm like, excuse me, may I once again bring up that time I saw someone on Twitter claim that if like there was like a list of like series that came out and then they were supposed to state your age and anime releases or whatever, and you were fucking ancient if you'd seen Lucky Star and Suzumiya Haruhi. And I'm like, that's recent. That was 2007. What the fuck? So we're old.
Put me in the ground.
Yeah, and the thing is, the things that we've lived through, and I'm not just talking about, you know, like the series we've watched and content we've consumed and created, the drama we've been through, you know, the live journal strikeouts, all of those things. We're in our 30s and we still haven't killed anyone. We haven't committed any crimes. No. I think at this point, it's safe to say that although some people may be affected by fictional content that they consume, most of us are very much capable of separating fiction and reality, and our fictional preferences don't necessarily have anything to do with our real life selves.
Well, and I'll take it back. And Peachy, you probably got to feel a little bit of this too, is satanic panic.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It feels a lot like that because
Yeah.
I used to play a little game called Vampire the Masquerade.
Ooh, the video game or like the tabletop?
I did both.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Fun fact, the largest active Vampire the Masquerade coven is
Mhm.
in Austin, Texas.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I used to play a little game called Vampire the Masquerade, and my aunt did what all Southern Catholic relatives did, which is she immediately looked up what this game was about and saw a little guy called Rod Farrell, who was a murderer. He killed his girlfriend's parents and claimed that it was because he was an immortal vampire because of Vampire the Masquerade. And I was no longer allowed to play Vampire the Masquerade because my aunt said that anyone who played it was like Rod Farrell.
It upsets me to a level I can't even stress that Marilyn Manson is a piece of shit. Because the stuff he used to talk about back in the day was valid fucking points. But he's such garbage.
I feel that way about Kanye West. That's Kanye West to me. It's like he made so many good points about like being black and mentally ill. And now he's just doing what he's doing.
It's the worst because it's one of those things where a minority or, you know, someone who becomes a representative of a specific group does something and now it reflects badly on everyone. Fucking thank you.
Dude, it's happened to us. Like, as BL fans, like there is this small section of millennial BL fans that make the rest of us look like garbage.
Yeah,
and
I wouldn't even say
people
they're
just
millennial.
assume we're all like that.
I think honestly, the ones that make us look bad, really, I don't think they're millennials. I think that a lot of them are Gen Z. But the ones that made us look bad when we were younger were us. Like we were. I'm gonna go ahead and say I Naruto ran in the mall. I was trash.
So I'm like real upset that I never bought a Yaoi pedal. Like
I can make you one.
Amanda does commission. Just saying.
Make you one.
Oh god damn it! I used to have a sponsorship with Hendene, who was one of the original like vendors at cons that sold Yaoi pedals. I need to fucking get one. Jesus fucking Christ!
Yeah, I will make you a Yaoi paddle.
Oh my god, I'll throw up.
But yeah, a thing that we can't have at conventions anymore because people ruined it.
Because someone Light and L cosplayers handcuffing each other. Having like leashes and chains and shit.
Please, do you understand what it is like to be on a different fucking continent in the Arctic in 2006 on the internet trying to figure out what the hell is a Yaoi paddle? And then 20 years later, you find out that they're banned everywhere because someone crushed someone's fucking head. And I'm like,
oh, do you remember the fascist Sime Uke armbands?
Oh god! Oh no.
Yeah, so here's the thing. We were cringe.
Yeah.
And there's some problematic stuff in what we just discussed. We don't need neo-Nazi Sime Uke armbands.
And it's like, you know, how I talked about, I was an absolute trash Yaoi fangirl who used to try to make my male friends kiss because I wanted to see them kiss because I was obsessed with boys love. And that is incredibly problematic and incredibly cringe. And I was 15 years old and I don't do that anymore. And I think that it's really nice that kids today know that that's problematic because that affects real people. Me trying to pressure my friends into doing something for my entertainment was a problem. They laughed it off. It wasn't a big issue. Like, it didn't create any problems in our friends group. But looking back at it now, I'm very ashamed because I would never do that today because I'm an adult and I know better.
And I want to pinpoint on one thing. You can look back at it and are ashamed.
Yeah. No, you should not be canceled over shit that you're self-aware about now.
Yeah. And that's a whole other conversation that we are not going to get into because we'll be here for 5 days. But I think one of the most frustrating things about it is that it's a lot of minors yelling at adults, which first of all, just fucking stop. I'm older than you. I know more than you. Shut up. Excuse me. Secondly, it's making snap decisions based on a very surface level understanding of it.
Yeah.
If you just looked at like my top 5 yaoi, I'm a murderer. If you looked at just like my top 5, like just that, just isolation, take away everything else that I've done, and the only thing on my Hinge profile is my top 5 BL. I'm a criminal.
Listen, I've said this before, but I love Battle Royale more than anything.
Yes.
I own 26 different copies of the DVD,
Holy shit.
multiple versions of the novel,
Yes, she does.
and if I went to school in America, they would put me under, surveillance for
list.
being a potential school shooter.
Yeah,
But-
you'd be on a list somewhere, and that's fine.
Yeah, because at first glance, that sounds fucking terrifying.
Right.
But I'm also a pacifist, so there's that.
But it's taking a person completely out of context, one, and it's amplifying what is. I don't mean to minimize anime, manga, and BL fandom, but what is an aspect of a person's life? I saw this floating on My Hero Academia is trash Twitter, which is there was an adult woman who got a tattoo inspired by Kirishima.
Oh.
And there were a bunch of kids saying that she's a pedophile, called her job, said she was a pedophile.
Yeah.
For liking
this is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Called her job saying she's a pedophile because she got a tattoo inspired by a fictional character. And just that she liked him, and that she related to him. Not that she wanted to fuck him.
Okay.
And
Something that happens.
Tattoo.
I love you. We always have points at the same time.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you go.
No, I was just going to point out that if it's the same thing I'm thinking of, it was a lewd tattoo, but it doesn't matter because he's still a fictional character.
Mm-hmm.
And so go on.
So
I'm trying to remember.
Oh no.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Called her job and said she's a pedophile. Lost her job. Fucked with her life.
Oh, I remember now.
Yes, go now.
Go.
We're forgetting again. I hate that people assume that you're looking at these younger characters from the gaze of an older person.
Yes.
Because I feel like a lot of characters that I simp that are under 20, I don't simp them as a 31-year-old. I simp them like I'm in high school, and that's the kind of person I'd want to be friends with.
See, that's super interesting to me because I think one of the reasons why sometimes that kind of stuff doesn't do it for me is that my gaze is as a you're old. And, so in the old show, we talked about B-stars, and one of the reasons I had such a hard time with B-stars is that I feel like I'm walking in on two teenagers perpetually about to have sex.
I get that. Yeah,
there was a horniness to it that because my gaze was as a 31-year-old. I'm 32 now. I'm 32 now.
I will be soon.
Yay. But because my gaze was watching them as a 30-something-year-old adult, I didn't feel like, oh, I'm also in this weird anthro furry school, and I'm oh no, I've stumbled across my friends. I was like, you kids want some orange slices? Oh yeah. That's actually how I felt. Was the mom from Heathers. You kids want a snack? That made me uncomfortable. These kids keep trying to have sex, and I feel like I'm creeping in on them, and I don't want to.
No, I get that. I feel like I have a tolerance for it because I 9 times out of 10 see sex as a plot device than it is smut. Even if it's smutty. Even if it's smutty.
A tennis match.
It just
And in the instances where I am these characters that are under X age, it's usually just because I'm able to either fit into either their roles per fan fiction or whatever, or there's OC nonsense where it's oh, I could put this character in that situation who is not this gestures at body, and that makes it easier. But what's amazing is, and again, something that a lot of anti-children don't understand is a lot of us that have grown up with this aren't looking at the minors anymore.
No.
I stopped finding Edward Elric attractive about 10 years ago. Let me fuck Mustang.
But and again, there are so many layers to this, and everyone everyone comes at it from an an individual perspective. And
Completely correct.
and I'm more on Peachie's side, like, you know, because but I've said this before. The majority of main characters and characters in focus tend to be teenagers. There aren't a lot of series that have adult characters front and center. That's one thing. And I've said this before.
Straight series.
Yeah. And I've said this before too, when I write original fiction, that my last novel had 20 somethings at the center. But my first 3 novels largely focused on teenagers because I was very young when I wrote them. I was in my early 20s. And guess what? I didn't have a lot of experience as an adult. I picked from my experiences as a teenager. And as a teenager who was sexually active, who had a boyfriend, a long-term boyfriend, and you know, and I identify with teenage characters because I actually had a good teenagehood, you know, like I'm one of the few people who's like, I liked being a teenager. I mean, I was rife with mental illness, but other than that, I was doing really well. Okay, I had a good friends group, I had a good time, and I relate strongly to teenage characters because I was a teen for a very long time, and it's a part of my life that I'm nostalgic for, and that I know better because now I'm a disabled adult who don't really work. Like, I talk about BL, that's what I do, and I can't associate to the, you know, picket fence, married with 2 children, 9-to-5 job kind of life. I don't know what that is. So I associate much more with younger characters, or like understand younger characters because that's closer to my personal experience. And that that isn't because they are minors, it's because the characteristics talk to me.
And I think firstly it's important that we acknowledge that for everyone it's different. You know, I've associated myself with exasperated older men since I was 14 years old because that's what's inside of me, is an exasperated older man.
That's what you want, isn't it?
That's what I've always done. That's been who I am most of my life, as an exasperated older man. But, you know, I think it's interesting that we all have different perspectives on this. And here's something amazing, guys. You know, for, again, the aunties at home, none of us have invalidated each other.
No.
None of us have said that I don't get where you're coming from in a way that isn't respectful.
No.
We're all able to say, hey, you know what? That might not be my experience, but I totally get where you're coming from. And that's chill.
My favorite thing.
Say, see, here we go again.
We're doing it again.
what am I, like, no, but we can also say, like, okay, you ship that. I don't. Carry on.
Yep.
My favorite thing about people I've met while doing content is me talking about fucked up shit and then them coming to my Discord or following me after panels and just being the most legitimate, nicest fucking people. And then they'll always, every single one of them is like, I just don't have anybody to talk to because nobody likes the things I like. And it's just so novel to have someone that doesn't talk negatively about the shit I like. And it happens in my Discord all the time where I have this little community of little fucked up children and we all just are fucked up together. And
that's like our Discord as well, where it's like very chill people who all have a shocking tolerance for horrible things.
I almost am afraid of having my invite link on my Twitter and somebody finding it.
We have been very, very fortunate that we've only really had a couple of instances of malfeasance in the entire history of our Discord. But in those couple of instances of malfeasance, we're pretty low level. I want to wrap up by playing a game. I've been watching a lot of content about Saw. So it's like, would you like to play a game? Would you like to play a little game?
Yes.
Where we discuss some of our favorite problematic tropes because we're shameless hooers. And this is what I consider to be fun. This is going to be the longest episode of the Yaoi Shelf because it's been an hour and 50 minutes almost.
Ready.
But we're like,
you guys go ahead and get a snack. You're going to need a snack. You're going to need, you know, they usually list our podcast as like background noise. This is peak. Just put it on in the background and just clean your apartment or your house. So we have listed some of our favorite problematic tropes. I will go first, which, guys, I'm going to go ahead and say I have a shockingly high tolerance for some fictional incest.
Dude, it's
Listen.
fine.
I have a very high tolerance.
I stand on this.
Yes, I have a very high tolerance for some fictional incest. It's not always my favorite. I don't like Elric-cest. I'm hot and cold on Uchiha-cest.
But
yes. No, you had something to say.
No, but Uchiha-cest technically is canon because the Uchihas all screwed each other. So I'm just pointing out.
It is canon. But I'm hot and cold on it just because sometimes it is a little like, eh.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. But that is mostly because, as we all know. Yes.
You know, Wincest back in the day, back in the Super Hulock days. Peachie giggles.
Just dying in the background. Oh my God.
I honestly
I'm having such a good time. Oh my God.
I feel like, you know, you have this in like the Winter Soldier where like you can reprogram Bucky with like that sequence of words. I feel like Super Hulock is that like reprogram button for like a lot of Fujin of a certain age.
Oh my God.
Just like a lot of fans of a certain age, Super Hulock is like that's our reset. Like, oh no, it's back. Actually, it is coming back because
oh no,
because Jensen Ackles decided he wants to do a Winchester prequel without Jared Padalecki or Misha Collins.
What's the point then? Like I haven't watched a single episode, but why?
Because
dude, okay, I was never on that boat either, and I feel so out of the loop. Like I know what it is, but I never was.
Nope. I was on that boat. I was on that boat from the start. I came back when the series ended. The series ending is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
I've only seen, out of those three, I've literally only watched some Doctor Who. I am the personification of, you know, that meme where it's like, if this didn't break you and it's, you know, the 10th Doctor and Rose with the wall, then what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, I remember watching that. My girlfriend's like full on sobbing watching it for the second time. I'm like, that's it? That's what you're so sad about? She's
so emotional.
Still so mad about it.
I started watching Doctor Who when I was a child. Because we watched a lot of British comedy and British shows in my house, because of course we did. I started watching Sherlock super late, and guess what? I hate it.
No, you don't say.
I hate it. And I started watching Supernatural when I was in high school, when I was 14 years old. 1,000 years ago, when the dinosaurs were still roaming. 14 years old. But I have a shockingly high tolerance for some fictional incest. Now, I say fictional because I'm sure that there is some sad anti who's been waiting for this moment that they can clip this out of context and say, "Oh, look, the brown one likes something gross."
Oh, Jesus Christ!
And you know what? You've had so many other opportunities to make me sound like a monster, and you waited this long. Good on you.
That's my favorite fucking thing about them and Yaoi-chan in specific. Like of everything that you would pick to get feral over, there's so many worse things. There's so many worse.
There's so many worse obvious things too.
Yeah.
Like if we're gonna sustain an anger boner for My Hero, are we just not gonna talk about anything that's happening in Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yeah.
Are we just not going to talk about anything that's going on in Chainsaw Man? Are we just not going to talk about Sword Art Online?
I hate Sword Art.
Are we not going to talk about anything that's going on in Attack on Titan? No, we're going to Attack on Titan. No, we're going to stay mad. We're going to stay mad at My Hero. We're going to stay mad there. That's the one. Okay. I'm okay with. I'm okay with some age gaps, as mentioned. What matters to me is that that power imbalance, I don't like it anywhere. I don't care if these characters are the same age. If I feel a power imbalance because the writing is bad, I dislike that.
So are you into like Dom Sub at all? Or like Master Sub?
I like that because usually that's discussed.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Like it isn't just it's not actual slavery. Like there's a discussion. There's a discussion about this that is consensual.
Yeah.
For me, power imbalance is more like, okay, I'm gonna make this about American pop culture right now. Have you been keeping up with the Try Guys drama?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the power imbalance between Ned Fulmer and their producer, that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about.
Yeah, no,
Where like that's an issue that I have. I don't like that kind of shit. So like, yeah, if it's a Dom sub, like that's fine because they've had to have a conversation about that. As a former Dom, have had to have with my subs. You don't just kick down someone's house and say, "You're mine, bitch." That's a crime.
Oh my god.
You don't just like poof, kick the door down.
You kick down their house, like their entire
house, like the big bad wolf. I'm like, "You're mine now, ho!" And you drag him over your shoulder like you're Krampus. No.
Oh god.
What happens?
And because you mentioned Beastars earlier, I'm just picturing the ghosty kicking down.
Yes, like that's not
house.
what's going on. There's a conversation like what's okay, safe words, lights. Like, so no, I actually really like that stuff. And one thing I love about like actual BDSM is how regimented it is.
Yes.
I love that about actual BDSM. It's why I hate 50 Shades of Grey. Because that's
just Jesus Christ. Oh, don't get me started.
That's just abuse and bad anal.
Oh god. Oh Jesus fuck. Oh god. So I am also a member of the kinky community and fuck 50 Shades of Grey.
That's just abuse and bad anal.
I've read all of it except for Grey because
I have read Grey.
I read like maybe the first half of the first chapter, and Christian is the most disgusting ass motherfucker, and I just
my favorite part of Grey is when he puts a chunk of peeled ginger in a woman's asshole.
Excuse me?
What?
Why?
To stimulate mucus production.
What?
Oh, it's okay.
What the fuck?
We're back on the natural anal lube thing again.
Oh my god. Are they an omega? He is an alpha. If Christian was anything, he would claim alpha.
Of course he would.
He would. He's actually a beta, but whatever.
I think that maybe not to sound problematic, but in that case, I just want to go back to the old blood as lube trope.
Oh my god!
He sticks like a sizable chunk of ginger in a woman's asshole.
Oh Jesus!
I have read exactly one passage from 50 Shades of Grey in my entire life, and it was the tampon sequence, and I'm just like,
oh god, it's so bad.
What?
So bad. Oh
so for me, it's about power. It's about power, and I don't like it. And spoiler alert, this goes to my trauma as well. I don't like it when partners are on equal footing, be it economic, be it social, be it mental cognitive ability, because you do every once in a while see a character that is coded as being less intelligent, which is just bad writing. It's actually one of the big reasons sometimes that I do have issues with some depictions of Suichi and Yuki is because they don't always feel like they're equals. They don't. It does sometimes feel like here's this annoying child that Yuki puts his dick in. I have an issue with that.
I get that. That. But I feel like in my particular point of view and how I looked at it, but granted, it's been fucking years. But Yuki says shit because that's just how he talks.
Yeah.
I don't think he means a lot of it.
He doesn't.
But also, that doesn't fucking matter in the grand scheme of things, because just because you said something shitty doesn't mean that you can be like, oh, it's my trauma. Like, that's not. Yeah.
I think one of my favorite things in the more recent Gravitation installments, I think this is in the Novelist is a Good Mood doujin, which is the most recent doujin that came out. And in the beginning, Yuki and Shuichi are watching Bad Luck perform on TV. And Yuki's like watching him. Shuichi's sitting like a puppy next to him. He's so excited that Yuki's watching him perform. And then Yuki's like, yeah, the lyrics suck as usual. And then Shuichi has this thought bubble, and he's like, in Yuki's speech, this means he's praising me.
Okay.
Because he's so proficient in Yuki.
And that's fair.
As a fellow tsundere, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and my wife
that's
can say
valid.
this one way, up, down, the other. I will say something really mean, but I don't mean it that way.
Oh, I get
am
that.
just trying to emotion, and
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Let me tell you a thing I said once, and this is still one of the funniest things in our entire relationship. I was going to say to my girlfriend, I don't know, I think she's like out of the shower or something, like her hair's wet. And I was going to say something along the lines of her looking like an ethereal, like a beautiful ethereal creature. And what came out of my mouth was,
Look like a
you
creature.
look like a sea creature.
Oh my god.
And she was like, what?
Oh, okay. I have one that it doesn't have any, well, it does have something to do with my significant other, but one of my besties was over, and we're talking about like the probability of me cheating on my wife. I don't know how we got there, but like we were talking about that, and I was like, well, I mean, that's not realistic in any plane of existence. And Heather, my friend, name dropping, oops, sorry, I love you.
Hi, Heather.
She's like, well, like we hang out all the time, and without skipping a beat, without even thinking about it, I look this bitch dead in the eye and go, "You're not a threat." And then I look at Rachel, my wife, and she's like, "Oh, that was mean." And then my autistic ass is like, "What? What did I? What did I?
Oh,
I don't understand." And then I realized after the fact, like, oh shit, I just I'm really mean.
I feel like that's just part of the queer experience, because I've had similar instances. There's a wonderful phenomenon that happens when your friends discover that you're bisexual or are attracted to same sex, that they think that every action is that you're trying to sleep with them, like we're wolves. And I remember it was a friend of mine who had roomed with me in a hotel, because the con experience of like there's 13 people in one hotel.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, did you room with me because you wanted to sleep with me?" I said, "No, I like pretty girls."
Wow, that's a me thing to say.
No, I like pretty girls.
Maybe we should all just like take a communications class.
We should.
Something.
Yeah.
It's gotten to a point where I'll like write something. I just did it yesterday. I'll write something out and then I'll send it to one of what I call my normal friends, which I mean is kind of self-degrading, but whatever. And I'll send it to them and go, "Okay, does this come off condescending?" Like, and then there are times when I should have fucking done that and I didn't, and then I regret it later. But whatever. It's how I talk, and I hate it.
The last thing on my list
Yes.
is I have a shocking tolerance for non and dubcon. One of the fanfics that got me back into fanfic was a very, very dubcon for Daredevil, actually. Very, very dubcon for Daredevil, and I was like, "Oh, hello! I didn't see you there. Let's go." I don't know what it is, and again, we talk about power imbalances, but it's why I especially like dubcon over non-con. It's that dubiousness of it. It's do they, don't they? And usually it's framed as bad. I don't like dubcon that's framed as like, oh, it's romantic and we're going to go get married at the end.
Yeah.
No. Like, I want it to be like, I need to bathe after this. Like, this was wrong. I don't know what happened.
As someone who, consensually, mind you, is very no means yes, I think I'm into that. But in real life, it's a consensual thing. It's something that was talked about beforehand.
Exactly.
I don't feel like a lot of vanilla sexual interactions have as much consent as kink does, and they need to fucking learn.
No, there is not enough actually discussed. I'll have to find some sources, but like when we talk about like sex education in America, the amount of young men that understand what consent actually is terrifying, and it explains every problem America has. The amount of young men.
I just watched a What's a Safe Word YouTube video. They're two gay guys that do really good content, and their video that came out this week, they're trying to like guess what WikiHow pictures are and what article it goes to. And one of them, it was very obviously a condom, but Mr. Christopher goes, is that like a flesh jack or something? And then Amp's like, it's a fucking condom. And that is the cis male experience.
Oh god.
Like, how did you not know? Mr. Christopher gets a pass because he's perfect. But like, what the fuck? These are things that you should know before having sex with anyone. Like, lube is not something you don't use. It's not optional. It's not a kink item. It's everyone should use. Blood is not lube. Spit is not lube. Like, I just
Olive
Jesus
oil
Christ.
is not lube.
No,
Honey is not lube.
Butter.
Okay, that talk about problematic. When I was a kid, I legitimately thought that was a thing. Using olive oil. I legit thought that was a thing. I never did it, but I thought it was real.
I read that in a Yaoi and I was so upset.
Dude, it didn't even process for me.
I was so olive oil is fucking expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't go into my kitchen. That is reserve blend
Get you
from a
some
local olive
fucking
orchard.
Canola.
Dies in a corner. Carola, would you mind if I let our guest go next?
No, go ahead.
Shit.
Ready? Are you ready?
Flails.
I have too much. Are we doing characters, genres?
I would like to say flavors. We'll stick in genres as yours again because it's been 2 fucking hours.
Jesus Christ. I feel like I've already been like yandere. That's probably my favorite right now. I flip flop a lot, but the flavor right now is yandere.
That's fine.
I really like psychological horror. That's what a lot of my content's about. I just like fucked up shit in general. I like the problem where people find most problem with me is I self-insert in these things. So say like there's a couple and one of them is very abusive and the other one likes that they're abusive. I'm the one that likes that they're abusive. Because in my particular scenario, again, fucking trauma, I was never with someone that gave a shit about me, like in any way, shape, or form. I was a tool. And then when I got with current wife, she is maybe in some very consensual, not fucked up way. I call it domestically yandere. Like they're possessive in a way that's attractive for me, but not in the sense that I can't be my own person.
That's fair.
But I like the escalated form of that in BL because that's not shit that I could do in real life, but I like it. Like I like the concept of being owned. I like having the other person have more control over me than I do because I have no self-esteem to speak of. So I don't trust myself to make good decisions. I would rather them do it. I like having people be there to question me because nobody gave a fuck about anything I ever did. So having someone who gives so many fucks that it's almost dangerous is really attractive. Yeah, no, I fucking love that. And then that kind of ties into psychological horror, where I like things that make me think. Because as someone who psychoanalyzes everything, I like not knowing what's going to happen. So that's really cool too.
Valid.
Yeah. Oh, and monster fucker. I'm a monster fucker. Tentacles and beastmen and shit. That's good.
I understand their utility.
It's okay.
To this day,
it's a very specific taste.
I do not judge. To this day, I'm still a little bit like, okay, that is for someone. Someone is not me.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Shota.
Yeah,
like I get that. Like I can't. Okay.
I can't. Okay. We're not going to talk about Shota Cat.
Oh shit.
We're not going to talk about Shota Cat because
it's fine. Live your fucking life.
I used to rule a non-insignificant part of the internet. There was Pedo Bear and Shota Cat. Yeah. And Shota Cat was Lord and Savior over a horrifying amount of the internet.
Oh god.
Oh god. But it's coming from the same sort of kind of space where I have tried to understand it and
that's fair. I
It's
also
not a flavor.
that just like unlocked something for me. So a funny thing about problematic content back in the day was that either we didn't know it was problematic, or we knew and we made fun of you and then moved on.
It's
So,
not
like-
that deep. Like,
So like
oh my God.
people would say like, "Oh, haha, pedo bear," but like that was it. Like that, like the conversation dropped.
Yeah.
I thought Pedo Bear was kind of fucking weird.
He's
Like,
he's physically terrifying to me. I don't like
Yeah.
him.
You know, remember those pedo bear cosplayers? Like they were
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
terrifying
They were
because
terrifying.
those costumes were fucking haunting.
Yeah, they were scary.
They looked
But,
so
like,
creepy.
So either we didn't know that anything was problematic, we were just like, yeah, this is fine, or
Yeah.
someone would make fun of you exactly one time, and then it was never brought up again in conversation.
No.
But it's like, you know, I think this has a lot to do. I'm going to mention this. I'm going to go more into it when I go through mine. But you know, the whole suspension of belief because it is BL, and I think we were so accepting a lot of the time for, you know, this is fiction. This is just BL. This is just how it is. And so, you know, when we're talking about Shota, I'm like, I am also very much not into it. Like, I don't get it. But then I start thinking, and I'm like, but I did like Sebastian and Shell, and I guess that's a sort of Shota. And then I think about
That is
Loveless.
indeed Shota.
And to this day,
That is indeed Shota.
listen, I know now as an adult looking at Loveless, I can see that wanting Sobi to remove Ritsuka's ears is hugely problematic. But 15-year-old me was waiting for that moment.
I pretended that he was older than he was so that I could get through Loveless.
I wish she
Because
would
I
just
couldn't.
finish Loveless. I can't
Right?
live like this. I need to know how it ends.
You know,
I
how
need
it ends.
Koga Sensei. What are you doing?
You know, you
Yeah,
know he uses that cat like a cock sleeve.
No,
You
but
know
yeah,
that.
but not only that,
But
but
you know he
But-
scruffs that little bitch and uses him like a fleshlight.
but
You
that's
know it.
not
Oh my God.
everything, though. I just want to
That's-
point out
you
that
know.
the story.
You know how it ends. It's like the jerk off lamp. He scruffs that little bitch,
Son of a
throws
bitch.
him on his dick, and you know.
But not only that,
You
because the
know.
story is actually quite captivating,
Fuck
and like
you.
because it has that weird psychological
No, it
aspect, and I want to know how
You're
it ends.
full of
There are
shit. You know.
characters now that are supposed to be dead who aren't dead. Now there's a love triangle, and I just want to know, you know,
It's like
what
watching a
is
train
going-
wreck.
yeah, and
Yeah.
but also it's an incredibly pretty train wreck
Mm.
because Yun Koga's drawings are so beautiful,
Dude,
and I
Sobi's
will
gorgeous.
love Loveless until I die because of the art alone.
I respect
is
your
it-
opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, and I fully understand that it's not everyone's cup of tea, and I think that had I started reading Loveless now at the ripe old age of whatever, I probably would have been like, fuck no.
You know
But
what?
I was reading it as a teenager, and I
just
didn't.
realized one, I have no leg to stand on in general. But the show that I was watching during that time was Axis Powers Italia.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So I definitely don't have a leg to stand on. So I've never had a leg to stand on just in general. But the shows that I was watching instead of Loveless was Axis Powers Italia.
That's
I
amazing.
definitely do not have a leg to stand on.
Did
Oh,
you have
God.
more, Peachy?
Oh, dude, too many. I don't.
Yeah.
That's what we have a live stream for. It's been 2
Right.
hours.
Right?
Carola, would you like to list off a few?
Yeah. I'm joking. I'm fine. Okay, so mine are like a lot of mine are super like arbitrary because I am a hypocrite. I just realized. Let's go with the simplest one first. I too, all aboard the fictional incest train. But I love brothers. I love twins.
You like Hitachi incest.
I like Hitachi incest. I like, yeah. If they're twins, I am weird.
I was about to say,
I'm
you like
okay
Hitachi.
with it. I
You
just
like
don't
Hitachi
seek it out.
I think it's, I don't know what it is. And again, it has to be like fictional. It has to be 2D. I don't, like, I've never looked at, you know, like Fred and George like that.
Oh, no.
No,
Yeah,
it
no.
has to be the anime aesthetic, and I'm very, like the Hitachins and the twins from Gaku in Heaven and the twins from Brothers Complex and all of those, and also Baby Baby Baby, which is a one-shot manga, and like those kinds of things. And again, why I like Vitri, because Virus and Trip look like they're twins.
Holy
And
fuck.
again, throw noise in the mix, and I'm like,
Oh my god.
yes!
So, my ideal top, like if I could have anything on this fucking planet, is Virus. Stick the
God.
snake up my ass. I don't even care. Like, oh my god, he's perfect.
Yeah,
he is the
he
right,
is.
like, perfect middle ground of condescending, but also cares about you. Like, oh fuck.
I love it. Virus. Yes, thank you for understanding.
Moans in the
And-
background. Anyway,
I don't know who
And-
my ideal top is now.
wait, what?
I don't know who my ideal top is now. Like I don't know.
I
But
have
also-
many.
Because it's not
I also-
airy. I just wanted his gender.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
God.
I
Gender
very
envy.
much, I don't self-insert at all. I want to be a fly on the wall. I never want to
That's fair.
be any of the characters. I just want to watch them get it on. So for
That's
me, it has so much to do with chemistry and characterization and the context of these two or more characters. And so I have age gaps on my list, not because I am like, because I go for age gaps, but because I don't mind them. So if two
Yeah.
characters have really good chemistry and the subtext or whatever is there, I will ship it. I don't care if there's like 800 years between them. And like you brought up Junjo Terrorist, and I thought that I mean, obviously very problematic because literal child and a teacher,
Right.
but I thought that the dynamics were really fun for me, the way that that story was written. And again, not a Junjo fan in general. I don't really like those stories, but it was like something I just remembered. So for me, I'm not bothered by age gaps and even like power gaps as long as the context makes sense to me. So
I don't feel like every giant age gap equals grooming.
yeah, exactly.
And I feel like people
Yeah.
don't understand what grooming means either.
Oh, they
No,
definitely
it is
do.
something that the internet has taken and
Yeah.
run with because yeah, I agree with you. I feel like we don't have any nuanced conversations about that stuff anymore. I feel like also it's particularly misogynistic because it takes the agency away from women.
Right.
I've been thinking a lot about Anna Nicole Smith, and everyone talks about like her relationship that she had with that significantly older man and how like terrible really everyone was to her because of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you're taking away all of her agency and that like she really did love that guy. It might have been weird to us, but that's not any of our business.
Right.
She did love that just happened to be very rich old man.
When I first got with my wife, my mom accused me of being like a sugar baby, of like using her for her money and her stuff, because that's all I apparently could do when dating someone who was significantly older than me. And I say significantly in a light sense. I don't feel like 9 years is that big.
And again,
and the irony is my parents are 10 years apart, so she needs
Yeah.
So I feel like so much of that vitriol one is like very, very new because like like my parents had an age gap between them. My aunt and uncle right now have a 9-year age gap between them. And like that's not weird to them. It's us who have internalized that as weird.
Right. Yeah, and also there is such a huge difference between, finding that one person that you click with, that you have chemistry with, that you want to be with, and they just happen to be older than you or younger than you, and systematically going after people who are 17.
Yeah.
Like there's a huge, and again, but if they're fictional,
it doesn't matter.
Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, I also do want to say in relation to the grooming thing, one thing that I think people forget is that there's a huge difference in 9 years between 20-something and the 9 years, and like 14 and 9 years.
Yeah,
like I think that's one of the big issues that people forget because they'll just like, I don't like age gaps at all. It's like, well, no, I mean 10 years between a 30-something and a 40-something. That's sizable, but that's different than 10 years between someone who's 16 and someone who's 26.
I'm
And again,
struggling with Dokusei right now because I'm reading the one with the teacher and the student. Okay, don't look at me like that. I like it, but I'm
No, I like it
struggling.
too.
I'm
No,
struggling.
I
and-
haven't read anything yet. Don't spoil
Well,
me.
No,
and I
I'm
will-
not going to spoil it.
no.
I'm just saying the age
I will
gap
say
fucks with me a little.
a lot of that is just Nakamura's writing. I don't even think
Yeah.
it's the age gap
No,
that's
most
bothering
definitely.
you.
I love almost fucking everything they've ever written.
Yeah, I
My
think a
favorite
lot
is
of that,
Inheritance of Aroma, and it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. Oh, it's so fucked up.
but I think
Oh,
a
it's
lot
so
of that
good.
is just Nakamura's writing. I don't even
Yeah.
think because I think you could close that age gap and it'd probably still feel a little icky, but that's just because that's how Nakamura writes.
Right.
These beautiful, long-legged angel characters that have the
Right.
worst lives of ever.
I need to finish it. Oh god, I was on a struggle bus. It's like I like it. I like the younger character a lot. He's fucking cute, but like it's just like reasoning with that and feeling okay about it.
Yeah, I honestly feel like that's 90% of Nakamura's work. Just in
Yeah.
that style.
Yes. That's why it's good. It makes you think
Yeah.
shit. I like
It does.
Wait,
I love
what?
the
I have-
struggle.
I one day I will be able to accept Jay no Subete. Today is not that day.
We've been talking about Jane Sugata for so long. But yeah, that brings me into I also have psychological on my list because again, like Peachy and we did a whole episode on this.
We
I
did.
really like looking into, what makes these characters tick and how do they work and everything. And as kind of like a sub point to that, I have like in general, I don't like dubcon and non-con, but also I can be so apologetic, and this is where my hypocrisy comes in because I I do this BL suspension of belief thing a lot, and I think a lot of this comes from we all grew up with these, like we've talked about this entire episode. There was the only things that we were being served that was being scanlated, that was being licensed, was a lot of non-con and dubcon. It was kind of like at a point where it was you couldn't take that, that was such an integral part of BL. It was just there. And you kind of just learned to sort of look past it because you knew that in the end, these two characters were going to end up together. And so you just kind of like, and I still do this where I'll be like, I hate this because it will start like when I started watching Dakaratai Otoko, I didn't like it because it felt to me like, oh, here we go down the blackmail route again. But then it turned into such a wonderful relationship, and I love them so much now because I just had to force myself to get past that and keep watching. And because I know that that's how they're gonna end up together. So like with 10 count, yes, majorly problematic. Is it one of my favorite manga ever? Yes, because okay, it's beautiful and I love it. And I mean, I will, and in the same heartbeat, I will defend, for instance, I will defend Kurose because I love him and I'm attracted to him, and then I'll go after Vegas because. But the thing is, because the thing with Vegas is that, and I have said this ad nauseum. I keep rewatching Kin Porsche over and over and over because I love it so much, and the thing about Vegas is that, do I love the Vegas Pete? No, because it's not my cup of tea. Like, I don't, it's not my cup of tea. But I do think that it's interesting. But the reason, and I've said this so many times, like, if it was only Vegas Pete, I probably would have caved and been apologetic and been accepting of Vegas. My problem with Vegas was the home wrecking that he was doing in the first half of the series. If it hadn't been for the things he did to Porsche, I would be fine. But I'm like...
I know you've watched my info dump on this.
Yeah. And I love it.
He is my baby.
But I understand. Like, and actually watching your analysis of him made me understand him a lot more. Because you're looking at him from a point of view that I'm not looking at him.
Right.
And I just can't get past, why do you have to have everything your cousin has all the damn time? Like,
Okay, Carola, I love you so much. It's been 2.5 hours.
Yes, I will stop. I'm just saying,
Carola, I love you so much.
Okay,
It's been 2.5 hours.
When we go on live, we will talk about Vegas for 30 minutes. I'm sorry in advance.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna say that it's just a thing that I do where I will be apologetic for some characters and then not for others. And So I don't know, but in general, like it depends on the setting, on the framing, on the characters. And sometimes I'll like something and sometimes I'll be like, nope, out of there for the same reason that I might like something else. So, but in general, I feel like, looking at how the community looks right now, everything I like is apparently problematic. So
same.
Fair
Yeah.
and valid. Okay, it's been 2.5 fucking hours.
I'm so sorry.
So, Peachie, is there anything that you would like to tell our audience about before we finally wrap up?
Okay, I have a whole spiel, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, one, come to fucking CitrusCon.
Yes.
The peeps from CitrusCon approached me and were like, yo, we want to run a virtual BLCon. And I'm like, cool. And they go, do you want to go to it? And I'm like, well, yes. And then I became staff. So
that happened.
We have the bare bones together. It's going to be August 26th through 27th, 2023. Registration is open and free. We just opened applications last week. So far, so good. If anybody would like to apply for panels, running a game stream, watching a watch party, I would assume you would. Running a watch party. That's all under the programming application. And then Artist Alley and volunteers have their own applications, all of which can be found on our card, citruscon.card.co, citruscon.carrd.co. Outside of all that shit, watch my fucking YouTube. I'm trying really hard.
You're doing great.
I'm trying so hard. I have a video that was supposed to be released like 2 months ago, and I'm still not done, but I'll post it one day. I'm on Twitter. What the fuck is my Twitter? Church of
all applicable things in description.
Yeah, I'll throw my shit in there, but like follow my shit. I'm trying really hard. I love all of you. Come to
the Yaoi Shelf may or may not be at CitrusCon. Just kidding. We're pretty much contractually obligated.
Dude, you're a guest. Like, you have to. I'm gonna come to your house and steal you. Like, you're gonna have to get on a goddamn plane.
You're gonna, yeah, I mean, I'm in Texas. Texas is pretty big. You have a lot of land to traverse to find me.
I'm on the other side of the country from you.
Yeah, happy Hunger Games.
Hello from Norway.
Hello from Norway. So, I was actually looking at flights to visit you, but then I realized all that we would do is watch Ken Porsche, and I wouldn't get to see actual Norway.
What do you mean?
Like, I was thinking about it because, you know, I'm old, I'm single now. And I was like, oh, it might be fun to go visit my dear friend Carola in Norway. And it can be like that one TikToker who lives in Svalbard. And no, it would just be us in your home watching Ken Porsche. That's all we do.
You can get through the entirety of Ken Porsche in 2 days out of experience.
Yeah, you can.
So you can watch all of Ken Porsche and take breaks and eat. And then after that, you go do stuff and then you come back and then you watch it again.
And I would also not recommend coming now until.
Well, no, I wasn't coming now.
After figure skating season is over in March, because I'm not going anywhere.
You are, Carola, you are the worst friend. It's like,
I know.
No, there's something.
Listen, I love figure skating, and nothing can tear me away from this hellhole that is this sport. Okay, I'm gonna watch the gala in 30 minutes from Sheffield.
Oh, now you're on a time limit.
Yeah, now we got to shut
the fuck up. Now you have a time limit.
No, but
okay. Patrons, thank you so much for being here. To Lucy H, Amora Blue, Persona Non Gratin, which is still my favorite. Rin, Weasley, Jamie, Lauren, Carm, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We greatly appreciate you. If you would like unhinged live streams, Hatful Boyfriend.
I'm so excited.
I love Hatful Boyfriend.
Exclusive merchandise, including this very handsome lemon.
It's beautiful.
Dude, Slow Damage comes out tomorrow. Just saying.
Oh my god, I don't want to think about it. Speaking of. Yeah. So the live that's going to happen after this one next Sunday.
Yes.
I may or may not have a CitrusCon sponsored giveaway that may or may not end up being Slow Damage.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we could do that.
you should do that.
So thank you to our patrons. If you would like to join them and continue to support me making merch and us having some cool things lined up, including what may or may not be a website.
Ooh, yeah.
Amanda had to relearn coding.
Nice.
Amanda's working really hard. While
Amanda's
I'm doing
working really fucking hard.
Dude, relatable. Oh my god.
I'm so proud.
We appreciate all of our patrons. We love you all very much. We love all of our listeners, to be honest.
Yeah. And we love Yiki Bean. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we
for
love Yiki Bean.
sponsoring.
Thank you for sponsoring. If you'd like to become a sponsor, our Twitter DMs are open, and we're both whores.
Nice.
Yeah.
Relatable.
Bosis wrist.
Ankles. It's not wrists, it's ankles.
Yeah, I can't show my ankles. I'm wearing pantyhose, so wrists it is.
You know, that's somebody's kink.
It is.
Somebody.
You
Somebody
it is.
wants
want me
that
to show
ankle.
my leg?
Can confirm. It is someone's thing. Can strongly
1,000%.
So fun fact,
Yeah,
I wear the super, super opaque tights, the ones that make me just look like I have like 2 black toothpicks as legs.
Nice.
And there was one person who was like, why do you wear the super opaque tights? Like, because you can't see my panties and upskirt me.
Mm-hmm. There's a BL about that, about a dude that
Yeah.
wears pantyhose kink.
Yeah. I love that one.
You can go join our patrons on patreon.com/the Yaoi Shelf. You can follow us on Insta and Twitter. It's the Yaoi Shelf everywhere. We also have a Discord that is in our card. Carola, would you like to tell the audience what we're doing next month?
We are, yes. Oh my god, I love this part when I go, sorry, my cat appeared and I got sidetracked. Say hello to Sansa.
Kitten.
Yes. We're gonna, since it's December and all, we're gonna talk about some of our favorite places and recommendations to get BL, to shop secondhand, to get your doujin, to get presents for the Fujin in your life or yourself.
Yeah, or
And
yourself.
Yeah, and it's gonna be exciting because you just got back from Japan and we have a lot of things to recommend.
Japan was so much fun. The food was so good. There was so much walking, and I don't know why Japan doesn't believe in elevators.
No, you don't need elevators.
I don't.
I warned you. I warned you.
You did. You did. I was warned an enumeration of times. I don't know why such an advanced country doesn't believe in elevators or benches.
Fastest trains on the planet. No
Yeah.
elevators.
Because there's something about dragging your luggage up a flight of stairs at 5 a.m. when you're dead from walking for 2 weeks.
Also,
that is just.
I know my
just
friends that
different.
traveled with me will tell this story differently, so I'm going to tell it before they get to out me. We were at the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company at Universal Japan, as Americans do.
Oh,
And it was Halloween, and there was a guy, it was a blonde Japanese man, and he was dressed in a prison uniform, and I had literal heart eyes the entire time. Anytime he breathed, just heart eyes.
No.
My guy friend said I looked like a Snoopy character.
That's amazing.
They made so much fun of me because I was fucking smitten. So I'm telling this now because if they'll tell it, I'm going to sound like a worse simp. But that one guy at Universal Studios Japan working at the fucking Bubba Gump Strip Company.
You're fucking hot.
Fucking hot.
Shout out to that guy. Hi,
So,
sir.
thank you all for being here. It has been a beautiful
so
2.5 hours. The longest episode of Yaoi Shelf history.
I'm sorry.
Thank you so much for joining us, Peachie.
Thank you, Peachie.
Woo! Anytime.
Yes.
I'm down 3 hours next time.
I will just leave. I will tell
I mean, we'll come on your channel, you know.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Ooh, yeah, I have I'll go until I'm done. Like, I don't give a shit.
I'll just clear a weekend. Just like
Yes. Fuck
We will
yeah.
be live again at the end of November. Stay tuned for details. Thank you guys so much for listening. It's been 2.5 hours. You have earned yourself a snack. We will see you in the live. Bye.
Bye.